here now. Do you have a copy of it? Why, thank you. I wrote it down, but, okay, so review of the policy 249. Can you pull up 249, Adrian? That's the bullying. That's the anti-bullying policy, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Can you get that up on us?
Can you actually go on the website and just pull it up? Can you get on the board docs?
Well, I don't have this one.
Pardon?
I don't know if we'll be able to pull the, it's the,
Where are we going?
draft.
The draft,
Content,
yeah, he has to be
not
logged
public
in.
content.
Oh, really? He
Yeah.
won't-
State,
he won't
Stacy
be able
can
to
log
log
in.
in.
He doesn't have to be on the draft because it's not being changed. He can be in the regular.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there it is. Thank you. Okay.
But you're right, that one was no changes recommended.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I
I
think,
have her.
I think Mike just wanted us to review it and go over what it says. So the Joint Operating Committee is committed to providing a safe, positive learning environment for its students. Recognizes that bullying creates an atmosphere of fear and intimidation, detracts from the safe environment necessary for student learning, and may lead to more serious violence. Therefore, the JOC prohibits bullying by students. So there's the definition. And then the authority, it prohibits all forms of bullying by students. And
So-
goes on and then mentions the Title IX sexual harassment and other discrimination, which is, yes.
We read it. I have one recommendation.
Oh,
We need
okay,
it
I'm sorry.
twice.
Go ahead.
At the definition and then on the next page. I don't think we need to qualify bullying by students. I think we can just leave it. Eliminate those two words. Bullying. The Joint Operating Committee prohibits bullying.
Can you go back
Sure.
up? Adrian, can you move it back up again?
Okay.
Yeah,
And then under authority, again, prohibits all forms of bullying, period. That would be my recommendation.
prohibits all forms of bullying, take out by students.
Just take out by students.
In other words,
And I think-
that's actually really good because teachers can be bullies.
Yeah, that was a thought I had as we went through it,
Yeah.
as you read through it.
Yeah.
And I didn't register, but it did stop. Great suggestion. Great suggestion.
See why I want you to be the chair?
I'm a policy nerd.
Yeah.
This section.
There's now at the bottom, there's a whole section for the disciplinary actions that are relevant for students, but I think that would remain unchanged.
Okay. And what was the first one you said?
It's in the purpose and it's in the authority. First line of the authority, last line of purpose.
Okay.
There is a staff code of conduct, correct, that would cover any staff bullying and discipline for if this wasn't by a student.
Correct.
That's what we're doing, so.
But it just makes it really clear and concise here. Now, what it doesn't do is provide actions, ramifications, if it were a faculty member that would
That
initiate
could
it,
have
that's where the HR policies would fit in.
Now, he doesn't actually have this on as a first or second read, so
This is for review, so
it's
this,
just a
it
review,
would
yeah.
become, yeah, so
It would
first
become a
reading
first
would be,
It would go into first or
it
second.
would go in first next time.
Okay, all right, so we do need to have a first and second read on that. Okay, I'll pass that along to Mike. And then 323, can you pull up 323?
If you're, no, are you in? Go to featured,
There, 300. And 23.
but he's not gonna be in the draft.
Oh.
So if you go to featured and bring up the agenda, it's
I couldn't-
attached to the agenda,
Find it.
and they're attached.
Are they?
I mean,
There's not an agenda. Okay, so if you go on there,
Down one,
where am I going, Trace?
that one, and
policy, go ahead. Click on that.
You go to view agenda, scroll down. You have to be in the policy agenda. Are you in the policy?
No, this is the actual board meeting agenda. Go back.
Policy.
Regular board meeting, the first
The
one.
policy.
Oh, I'm sorry, the policy.
Policy,
What?
view agenda,
Oh, no,
and
yeah,
then if you click on
go.
the policy's
the
three
policies will
twenty-three,
be attached,
the second one there, yeah.
and then you'll see the draft.
And these are the draft policies that were attached there. And bold means it's an ad.
It-
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
okay.
So all the bolds are the changes?
Yes. So in this policy, they're recommending the change for, removing a specific jewel word out of the policy, because that's a brand specific name.
It's a lawsuit too.
Yes, it is. So I don't want to be that school being sued.
No.
So I would like to change our policy earlier than later. And it just came out as a PSBA recommendation in the latest document. So we went ahead and
So what was it, all the tobacco products are bolded, so what's that before?
it said jewels. They
Oh.
used the specific
Oh,
name
oh, I see,
of
okay,
a,
gotcha,
so we're changing that to.
okay. All right, any questions on that, Davis?
It's intermixed throughout. That makes sense.
Okay, all right, okay, move on to 350.
351.
Yeah, 351.
So if you go back out to agendas. You click your agenda tab.
There's a
Up
lot
on your toolbar.
at the top.
Yeah, at the top, click your agenda.
The tab.
With the little green trees.
Yeah, put the green.
There you go.
No, you just-
Oh, you blew it.
Now go back to board docs.
Oh.
Board docs,
We're done.
there you go.
There's so much.
Open that.
There's a tab on the right. Yeah.
Click
And
policy.
policy.
Yeah. He doesn't. You can click on. No. You go to featured,
Draft.
You could do that and go to drafts.
no, featured, policy,
Policy.
Second one
So-
down.
right in the
I
center.
need a laser pointer.
Mhm. Go to policy,
Get with it.
view agenda,
See.
There we go.
and 351, please.
Okay.
So let's close it again, we'll try it again, how's that?
Control
Get faster.
substances.
So these recommended changes were removing specific instances.
It's terminology for drug-free workplace.
Got it.
And again, these are PSBA recommendations, correct?
Yes.
So if anything is taken out, is it crossed out? How do we know it's taken out?
It's there, it's just the bold words that are changed.
That's added, but if something is taken out, how do we
It would
know?
be crossed out.
So it would be crossed out?
Yeah.
Okay,
And then it's sometimes it depends on your view, but it's like green or red.
highlighted.
Yeah, generally. And you can still go back and look at the original, what's posted in the policies. As opposed to what?
Yeah,
the
it's
changes.
harder, I guess, to look at, yeah.
But they don't change them until the second read.
Right,
So
right.
the first read is just, a review. Okay, anybody see anything here that should be looked at? So we did. So we're finished with those. And so now we can go to 121.
So these are the second reads. Or no, these are going to first reading.
This,
Sorry.
this
These
is
are what we
the
talked
first
about
read,
last-
the ones that are coming up.
Yeah,
are
these are the
first
ones we
read.
talked about last time, but I have a couple questions on some of these.
Okay. So 121. Click on that, Adrian.
So, Tracy, these aren't attached, right?
Oh, they're not attached.
There's not there, no.
So I have to go to the,
Policy, draft policies to look at them.
They may, they're gonna be in,
You see,
Yeah.
they're
And then
gonna
you
be,
can go to 121.
121.
you can actually
Oh,
go,
that's the field
you can
trip.
go to the regular JOC agenda.
No, this
They're gonna
this
be
was
there?
the new one.
Yeah, they're in the regular, if you go to feature,
okay,
Yeah, just put featured word right there.
You know, no,
It's on the menu. It's right under this black thing that you
That's- yeah,
can't see.
that's right. I don't know. Oh, Steve's.
the regular,
Trying, yeah.
regular board meeting.
Good job.
The regular
Yeah,
board
it's
meeting.
gonna come up. View agenda. If you go down to
Right down, it's pretty far down.
right there.
Yeah.
So one thing, just for clarification on 121. When I read this, I thought it was being removed and I got very confused. So I just want to call out that it's not a removal. This is the one it was a net new
Just
from the
first
last
read.
meeting.
Yeah.
But the way it was worded in here, I read it as 121 and 715 are deletes. And then
Oh,
the other
yeah.
adds, it's not.
It's just 7:15
715 is the
is
delete.
the delete, yeah. Okay.
So that the wording, the way it's in there in the agenda confused the hell out of me, I'll be frank.
Okay.
So 121, does it have changes in here? Yeah.
So it does, and this is one where we had made the wording changes on guideline number 8,
Mhm.
but it looks like guideline number 8 is just missing entirely.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not. So when I was looking at the draft docs, it didn't look like this.
It did.
That is correct.
So this is okay.
That attachment is correct. When I looked in the drafts, it didn't appear correct. It looked like 8, 9, and 10 were missing from the guidelines.
So we're good with the way it is. for
If
the
it's
first
written
read.
like that, I'm good with that.
Okay. All right, then we're deleting 715, 805.
And 715 is fax machines, so there's no need for a policy on that any longer.
No, there may be one.
Still use fax machines.
have a fax?
Yeah. Oh, we got it, just in case.
I
Okay,
ordered a
it just
pizza
didn't
with
render on my
mine,
screen.
just to see if I could do it.
They just highlighted
Yeah.
yellow in the draft.
Perfect.
Pardon?
What was that, Tracy? In the draft side, it's highlighted in yellow and the shall is blue, so I knew that it was.
Yep.
Okay.
But they did it
That's
actually at the JOC meeting last
Yeah.
time. So
I
I knew
figured.
it got changed right away.
It just didn't look right when I was looking at it earlier, but in that attachment is correct.
Okay. So we're good?
Yep.
And then 805 is. 805 is the. Emergency preparation?
This first read.
These are on the agenda to vote, yes.
For the
No,
first
no,
read.
This is first
First
read.
read.
Just the
It's
first
the
read.
first read, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not second.
The attached to.
They are attached, yes.
Mm. No,
Yeah. Right, they're coming up.
I guess not.
They are attached in the regular board
Regular
meeting
meeting,
agenda.
not policy.
That's right.
So they're okay.
I'm gonna make a
Yeah,
note.
they're not in the committee one, but they're.
Tracy, I think you need to go.
No, he's doing all right. He's getting there.
He's not used to.
No, no.
Go back
You're
up.
doing a wonderful job.
Going down too far, Steve.
Back up.
Keep going, back up.
A tad more.
It's up in the, in the committee meetings.
There.
Right there, see,
6C,
there you go.
Thank you.
Nothing like having a whole room full of people to put.
backseat driving.
Which one we want?
So now we're on 805. Emergency.
Is this on?
Okay, keep going
Yeah,
down.
this is what we talked about at the last
So
policy.
school security drill. School safety and security assessment.
I believe the ask that I had here was, have we identified those individuals already? And the answer was yes.
Yes,
So
okay. There wasn't much more questioning on here, was there? Well, health and safety plan. Okay,
we're doing the required training and everything this outlines.
mhm,
And it's not to open there.
It's part of the eligibility training.
I think we're good,
Okay.
okay, so.
Yeah. So now we go.
That bottom.
Yeah.
Can you go to
No, so
805?
put it over there.
Point two,
You go.
5.2.
in personnel. Who is the safety and security?
This is the one I asked for the individuals, so
Okay,
I confused them.
is it, what's his name?
That's not the Act 44 coordinator, right? Because that's Mike,
That's Mike,
yeah,
right,
or Dr. Herrera.
Dr. Herrera, excuse me. Thank you for
It was
correcting.
me too.
I appreciate it.
I corrected myself.
Well, when a vacancy occurs in the role of safety and security coordinator, the executive director shall appoint another school administrator. So you're saying that Dr. Herrera is?
Is the Act 44 coordinator, but I don't
I
know.
don't know if he's the same. if
I
he's
don't know if
not.
that's the same
Do
position.
you know?
The safety would be
Stacy
David
Gale.
Gale, correct?
Yes,
Is
so-
it Dale? Dave, is it, what's his name, Dale? Is it-
Dale
is
is
it
the officer, but
the security coordinator? Is that,
the Act
Mike.
44 coordinator is Mike.
so is the Act 44 coordinator different than the role of the school safety and security?
I think Stacy knows.
yes,
Stacy knows, yes.
the school safety and security coordinator is different. So that's a designee that your Act 44 coordinator appoints a person to be the school safety and security.
Do we know who
coordinator.
that is?
Dave Gale.
It is Dave.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Who is that? Is does he already?
He's our school safety and security officer.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's.
Okay, are we good with this?
Yep.
Okay, we better move on.
Good.
Sounds good, and then we're gonna move to 807.
Oh, it's just like top middles of the public.
Right
content.
there, in the middle.
So I read 807 from all three sending schools. Quakertown, Palisades, and this are lockstep with the wording, except for the last paragraph. Penridge, it's vastly different and it's hard to compare.
Oh, really?
Your policy is just way, way different the way it's written. But I would ask that we reconsider that very last paragraph where we are directing professional employees to conduct a brief period of silent prayer or meditation. And just strike the whole thing.
Does Palisades and Quakertown have that?
They do not have that bottom paragraph.
Oh.
The first three paragraphs.
They
have.
are, okay.
They're identical.
Looks like PSBA probably recommended the first three paragraphs, and maybe that.
Can we scroll down there, click on number 3 at the bottom?
Sure.
Yeah. So it looks like it's language from here.
School code. Set to expire.
Are we okay with that? Everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, let's move on.
I don't think any instructors have been following that policy anyway.
I doubt
I
it.
Do that, but.
807.
Yeah, well.
I mean, they can certainly do it
Yeah,
if they
go back
want.
to number 3, so you can read through the law real quick.
Okay.
May, or if so, authorized or authorized or directed. To me, the language directed means you're being told this is what you have to do. If we had adopted language similar to this, then I'd be all right with it, but I think we're safe to just eliminate the whole thing.
That's really interesting.
Some of that-
Fire anyway.
Some of that school code of 1949 was written in 1949 or even before and was carried over. Didn't the school code of 1949 replace like the school code of like 1928 or something?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, now so now we finished the first reads. We already did the second read, the ones that are up for second read, so we really don't have to go through them, or do you want to?
Changes.
Let's see, run through them really quick. The 716 is pest management. 718 is service animals. 800 is record management. 801 is public records, and 804 is school day. Is there anything that you think, any of those that we should look at further?
Do we need to make any changes to the school days?
Yeah, it was already modified.
We did go through that, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, actually. That's all.
Looks like in 807, the whole paragraph has been deleted.
807, is that the school day?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the opening exercises?
Yes, I
807?
want that last paragraph.
Yeah.
That last paragraph, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
where the JOC is directing,
Yep.
does that make sense?
I'm just doing it now so that we can,
That's fantastic.
it's just easier for me.
Thank you. What a group. Amazing. Okay, now the ones that I mentioned, anybody want to take a second look at those because they're going to be on the second read, so they'll be published.
They will be published.
They will be published, yes. So pest management, service animals, record management, public records, and school day. And we already discussed all of those. Okay, very good. Thank you. Good meeting. Next one will be. All right, we will move on to our program committee. And Stacy has some handouts for us. And I'll be chairing that in Jordan's absence. Yes.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. You're welcome.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Yeah.
Hey, Stacy's going to go over the enrollment as it stands currently. And I think might be some discussion.
He went in that way thinking there'd be food.
Hey, Stacy, it's all yours.
Okay, so enrollment hasn't changed much since we met last month. We're still holding at 314 incoming students. What you might notice, there's a couple changes in the format of this document to greater delineate the different categories of students and how we can look at the data. So you'll notice that on page 1, the other school category and the 9th grade placements were moved to supplemental information. So what that means is that that's the data for those other schools and for the 9th graders, but that's all reflected in bullets 1, 2, and 3 by district. So you'll see under each of the 3 district headings, there were 2 additional subcategories. Subcategory E, which accounts for the other school students from that district. And F is the revised total of your high school students plus the non-public school students. If we turn to page 2. You will see that there is a breakdown of all of the different non-public schools that are sending us students. So you'll see we have one student coming from the Centennial School at Lehigh, and those are all the schools that are represented. So in total, we have 18 students that come from a non-public school.
But do they have to reside in one of the three second
Yes.
districts?
Yes, 13 of them are new, 5 of them are returning. So this chart just reflects the new students who applied this year and where they're coming from. Anybody need one? You need one? No? Okay.
This is really good, Stacy. Thank you.
You're welcome. If we move on to page 3, that's the same table that we were looking at before. It's just new enrollment information by program, so there has not been a lot of movement on the wait lists at this time. I expect that over the summer, we could see some shifts. I got an email today from a student looking to move. So this document is going to be updated as we have changes. Enrollment is definitely always in flux.
So I had a question.
Sure.
You know, looking at like, where culinary is the first one I stopped at. So when I look at the wait lists here, it doesn't say if any of them had culinary in their first or second choice or rejected. It doesn't tell you in what programs. Do you have some people on wait lists that are currently waiting for a class that may have open spaces, or would they have already been placed?
They would have
should
already
been placed.
Yes, they would have already been,
So Brad can see.
outreach would have been made.
Okay,
Brad,
that's okay.
If you go to page 4. I was asked to provide a total school enrollment snapshot, and I want to emphasize the word snapshot. This is when I look at Enroll Track and when I run Power School reports. This is what the data shows. These numbers will change specifically to our returning students. I know that there are some students who are short credits or some students who may have moved out of district, but this is as it looks today. So you'll see there's a breakdown by the 3 districts. Those are students who are traditional high school students in the districts. Then all of the other schools that send students to us. And then there's a total at the bottom. So our 10 through 12 numbers reflect both new and returning students. So you see the breakdown of enrollment by grade at the bottom, totaling 955. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, this is the breakdown of new versus returning enrollment by grade by district. So you'll see that we have from Palisades, there are 54 new students school-wide and 83 returning students school-wide. Penn Ridge, 165 and 255 respectively, Quakertown, 95 and 303, for a total breakdown of 314 new students and 641 returning students.
So I didn't realize we had 11th and 12th graders as new students.
We do have some,
I see that.
yes,
You have a lot.
yes.
Okay.
You definitely see the numbers dwindle. 12th grade, it's a handful of students.
Yeah.
But yes, we do have
And
incoming students
just
in
off the
grades.
top of your head, would you know what programs they're going into?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I can certainly pull that up when we break, let you know.
Isn't that, oh, is he talking about the total? Because you have the new enrollment listed.
He's just, I think you're asking
I'm
what
asking about the-
programs 11th and 12th graders are
okay.
enrolling in. So I can run that in the Enroll Track for you.
They obviously won't get their certifications, or probably. won't.
Oh, 11th grader can, there is some programs you can get 2 years, correct?
Right?
Yes, if you enroll in 11th grade and you complete 50% of the curriculum, you will be considered a concentrator and you will still take NOCTI. So, but you won't be considered a completer because you will not have mastered the task list and have, been evaluated on every
And then
task.
12th grade is even more restricted.
Yes. Yes. So a
So
12th
why
grader,
they're coming over here, 12th grade.
they may get an industry cert in 12th grade, so they may get OSHA or they may get ladder safety or first aid and CPR, depending on the program. They could earn one of those.
You could see an engineering student going to the machine or something,
Mhm.
clothing or something like that. But and somebody that wants to be a burger flipper.
Right.
Well, that's a great example. Say somebody from their sending district was taking engineering classes and stuff like that, but wanted to
Some
get
practical
some,
experience,
wanted
sure.
some practical experience with some machining or welding.
Yeah.
That would probably be a little bit helpful. And a lot of times, in their home schools, sometimes when they get up to a senior, they have extra time in their day, so.
So how do they? They don't need to go their way.
And the last page is just a snapshot of the most recent 4 years of placement data. So how many students were placed from each district during each school year, how many accepted the spot, how many applied. So we can start to look at that for different trends in enrollment. And that is the end of the report. But I'm happy to answer any questions.
There's such a disparity between Quakertown and Penn Ridge, and I can't quite understand that.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Do you have any nuggets of
Good data.
information?
Thank you.
Because we gotta figure out what it means. What does it tell us really? Where do we need to work?
Well, I think it gives us some information to answer. Could you repeat your question? Because
I just said there's such a big difference between Quakertown and Penn Ridge, and yet you're both on the same plane as far as funding is concerned.
Mhm.
So has there been discussion about that? I mean, is there a concern there?
About funding?
No,
Just about
just
the
about the-
changes in
Yeah,
enrollment.
is it because there were, more kids that couldn't get what they wanted to get, or,
I think that's a possibility. I know when we first went through the process, only first round students were placed. And then second round students have been placed as spots to become available. So I don't necessarily have a good feel on what the rationale or reasoning for why that number is so low. But we'll certainly be discussing it at the CPAC meeting to get a better handle on how we can better support our Quakertown students and offer spaces when available.
Jordan made a really good point today in our discussion that she would like to see the counselors more involved. And I think that's really good, because the counselors are they have a better understanding and a better handle on the students themselves. And whereas the assistant superintendents are at a higher level, they don't really see the students per se. So I guess for me, it's a little hard for me to understand, like if they're doing the horse trading or whatever, that can't be the assistants that are doing that. Is that correct?
Well, I haven't participated in one of those sessions, but I would assume they're the ones trading the spots. However, they get their information on the students from their sending school counselors. I do know that at Penn Ridge, Dr. Scheid is looking to kind of further refine the process. And she came over and met with Morgan and I. But that's for her school and her counselors. She may share that with the assistant superintendents from Quakertown and Palisades. But she's certainly not dictating policy.
Right.
But what she is outlining is something very similar to what you're describing, where there's an outlined process with counselor collaboration and input, and she is more the intermediary.
Yeah, that's a really good way of looking at it.
So
but getting the
Or,
counselors more involved, yes,
on your same
yeah.
on your same topic there, if you look at the totals,
Mhm.
Quakertown and Penn Ridge are still not very far off. And how do these total numbers this year, I'm looking towards Stephen, equal out to, or how do they match up to what the current ADMs are too? Is Penn Ridge and Quakertown both about
This is
40?
different. These numbers are definitely different than what we use in the budget.
Yeah,
Over the last 5 years analysis.
yeah, no,
That's a really good
I know they
point.
are.
That's a
So
good point.
essentially,
Mhm.
what, the way my mind sees this is Quakertown is paying, say, 44% of the budget
Right.
for the tech school, but yet only sending 38% of students. We're paying for seats that we're not using.
That's not true.
Yeah, this year.
5-year average.
No, it's a 5-year, I get that, but if our numbers are starting to trend down,
Yes.
we are, which they are, if you look at the new incoming students from this year, where compared to last year, we're at 92 students this year, whereas last year we were at 115, the year before 131, the year before that 137.
There's our trend.
So those numbers have been trending down where the other two sending districts are trending up, so that the ADM will in 5 years reflect that, but for these
It'll start
these 4
every year
years
that it's
coming up,
recycled, it's a rolling
we're
average,
paying for more.
rolling average. So
Yes.
It'll adjust.
average.
Correct. That way, with an average, you don't get any anomalous spike.
No,
like the
and
best.
that's, it buffers the budget, but if we're sending less students, we're still paying for more spots.
Yeah, but you were sending more students before.
Yes.
But
In
That's
21.
why it's an average.
Yeah.
It does in 5 years.
We have dropped drastically since 21, 22.
No, and that's the concern I have, and I do know
Correct.
that before we used to send all of our 8th graders here for tours. That stopped, I think, in 20, sometime probably during COVID. We used to allow instructors into the schools to help, help push some of those programs. That practice stopped a few years ago in Quakertown, so, I think we can do a little bit more without having to go crazy with this, but I'm also glad to see that Penn Ridge and Palisades have more spots to use too. But the ultimate goal is I want students that want to come here to come here. And I want to make sure that they're all aware of what goes on here too. So, having that outreach from here to there and also sending our students here for a tour, I think can go a long way.
Absolutely. And it's also about retaining the student. It's great if you have every seat filled, but then you have a different problem if you lose 120 of them.
No,
So it's recruitment and retention. Those two things have to go hand in hand.
Yep, and we've been having those discussions, everybody's got a different theory on what helps to boost retention too, so.
Do we have a lot of loss?
There's I would say it's comparable to my former school. In that you always lose more kids the first year. They have an idea of what they think the program is, and then when they're in it for 2 hours to 2.5 hours every day, they start to realize what the reality of that program is. Enrollment definitely, withdrawals definitely are concentrated in that first year. By the end, most students, if any students are withdrawing, it's not because of a drive on their part. They may be credit deficient. Or they may have extenuating circumstances that have nothing to do with their satisfaction in the program. So. A lot of students will transfer. We do seem to have a lot of flexibility in transferring, so you'll have students who come in the first year and they stick the program out, but it maybe was their second choice and they're still really committed to that first choice program. They'll move in the second year into the program. So,
And they have a better chance of getting their first priority.
Yes.
Once they're here,
yes,
yeah. So that's why I wonder, like for 9th graders, why they wouldn't be willing to come in under, you've got a lot of openings under culinary, and they might love it. They might not, they might think they're not gonna like it, but they might really love it. And the same with machining, jump in and if we could get the ninth graders to do that, if they don't like it, the next year they have a better chance of moving in, and they still have 3 years left.
I think machining scares people off because they tell them you have to
Yeah,
know math, you have to know,
yeah.
and it's, I think it's more, well, you have to know math for everything.
Just because they want to do it, they have to be able to do it.
Yeah.
No, oh, no, I understand that.
But look, we have ag tech, we've got culinary,
You have to
Yeah.
know CAD, you have to know a lot, you have a
graphics.
large skill set.
But they get a great reward from that
Graphics,
program when they come through.
graphics,
Required.
I also think you have to look at this through the mindset of a 14-year-old who, if they aren't really committed to the program, like if they get their first choice, that's easy. They wanted it, they sought it out. That's it, that's easy.
Yeah,
My concern is when we start just offering them a space anywhere, that's a tough sell because that commitment isn't there and you're already asking them to give up half the day with their friends. And the social piece that goes in, which is so important at that age. Most of our seniors are advancing beyond that, but I think sometimes it's a hard sell when it's not their first or second choice.
good point.
So the retention you talk about, could we get something similar to this to see where there's gaps in retention?
I can try, I can add that to my summer project. Yeah,
Because I think that'd be useful to see, especially over time, so we can see if we're doing better
yeah,
at recruiting the right people. Right?
absolutely.
In 2019 to 22, that was one of the goals in the comprehensive plan. So we have that even with the withdrawals, we should be able to document why students are choosing not to attend.
Yeah, because it's one thing if they move out of the area, right? They had no intention of withdrawing. It's an unintended withdrawal. And then there's this didn't work for me. That's a meaningful withdrawal. That means we could have done better in recruitment or getting the right fit.
We
But you
presented
also have some that just have, terrible truancy problems at their home school and
Sure.
things like that, that we can't
but I-
control. as
I like
well.
to focus on the positive.
No. All problems happen.
Do we have anything? You have a student that wants to go into machining, let's just say. And it's filled, she or he can't get into that class. Do we direct them to another class that has an opening that would give them some form of knowledge about working into the machining area? So I'm looking for a pathway.
Yep.
So you can't get here, but if you go here, that pathway will open up later.
A lot of times, students who are, their first choice is welding, their second choice tends to be machining. So they may, if they get their second choice, they'll go into machining and then transfer into welding the next year. Unfortunately, and I would love to understand why this is not just an Upper Bucks problem, but a countywide and multi-county-wide problem with, selling machining to high school students as a very lucrative career. Machining is the place that picks up the second choice. Because it can be a feeder to welding, it could be a feeder to mechatronics.
So are they given that knowledge?
Yeah, oh yeah,
I'm assuming they are. I'm just gonna make that assumption.
Where would they get that knowledge from you, or would that come from the districts?
that comes through, so that would come from Morgan. So
That has to come from us. I went to the Delaware Valley Submarine Industrial Base and the old, to Mr. Shermer's point, machining used to be dungy and dirty. Now it's modern and money. And so we have to flip the script. I'm looking at Mr. Palmer of early exposure to recruit students. Mr. Chancellor went to Penn Ridge. And he met with the students, a really heartfelt story. A student came back with his mother, didn't explore machining. In the parking lot, she just said he's very interested and wants machining next year. So it's that simple. It's just us going that little bit extra to either having an open house, meeting with parents. Because right now, the jobs that are out there, it's historical in the levels of what students can make. So we have to work together with the sending schools. We're here all summer, Mr. Chancellor, myself, Mrs. Pakula, we'll give tours. If you know anyone that's interested in it, send me or Mrs. Pakula the information, we'll give tours and we'll see if it's a good fit. But it would be a shame if those seats went unfilled.
Did you ever think of putting together some kind of like a video or, you know, something, a promotional kind of video for some of these classes like the culinary? I can't believe you've got openings for culinary because that used to be bombed, but you know, like you had a lot of interest. So would that be feasible? I mean,
Is there any efforts from the sending schools for us to go or maybe we could send some open house or videos? Yeah, we just could get the distribution list and work with the districts.
I mean, Brett Bellotti would probably be happy to work with you. I mean, on the machining side.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're talking about producing a new video just for each of these programs.
Yeah, to update, because things, like Mike said, things have changed so much.
Yeah, there used to be
in the
videos.
industry.
They used to actually have individual YouTube channels for a lot of the programs.
They're on our website. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just really, once we get the student and parents in the door, if there's an interest and an aptitude, it's an easy sell. It's just getting them in, like with this one student, and if you'll talk to their friends and we're willing to do the effort if there's interest. If you know anyone would like a tour, just give us a call and.
Okay, anything else?
And I hope Eric does really well next week in at the Skills USA Championship. And
They're leaving.
then all these 10 openings in culinary will just disappear because everyone's gonna be like, I can do that.
Yeah. Eric and Nat both have very good
Oh,
shot,
yeah.
and that supports enrollment. Nat's a baking student, Eric's in culinary. It could generate a lot of interest.
Yeah.
Our former student Vince, who you remember who competed in skills years ago, went to Spain for 4 months. So to show you the camaraderie, he came back and trained Eric on some presentation skills up until Friday. And Natalia, Mrs. Reese, who was our former co-op instructor, has been in the last 3 weeks working with her hours upon hours. So once the school year ends, the training doesn't stop. So they're prepared, they're excited to go, and they've put the effort in.
Excellent.
Great.
Anything else?
Mr. O'Donnell, how many years back would you like?
Same as you got here.
Same.
Whatever I mean, just something that aligns with that layout. I think that would be helpful.
Okay.
And it's really more for next year and the year after,
Mhm.
right? So we can assess.
Mhm.
I'm playing with forecasting now.
Is that it for the program agenda?
That's it.
Okay. We have 9 minutes.
We have 9 minutes.
Better than usual.
Yeah. How you doing down in Central Bucks South?
Great job again.
That's all you.
He took me to midnight train. Yup, 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 yup.
Here.
Mr. Foreman.
Here.
Mr. Spear.
Here?
Mr. Hallowell.
I am here.
Dr. Ott.
Here.
Mr. O'Donnell.
Here.
Mr. Shermer.
Here.
Serena.
Sharina. Yeah. Jordan's not here.
Chris
Yes,
is here.
Jordan and Chris aren't here, so. We're good? Okay, thank you. And I need to announce that there will be an executive session to be held after this JOC meeting in the conference room? Yeah. Okay, great. Do we have any recognition or comments from the audience that would be on the agenda issues? They don't. No? Okay, moving on, we're going to hand it over to Dr. Herrera for his administrative reports.
Okay, thank you. I'm sharing the screen. So we had a wonderful senior ceremony this year at Penn Ridge. I'd like to congratulate the class of 2024 who certainly left their mark and their legacy at Upper Bucks Tech School. We had a record number of seniors. Earlier today, we talked about retainment. This year, 220 seniors walked across the stage. Every one of them earned at least one industry recognized credential. 31 were in the NTHS, and a record number were in our nationally known, and you'll hear about that later, School to Work program. So if we go back from years 2022, 23, we had 169 students, 21, 22, 139 seniors, and 165. Next year, we're anticipating, when Stacy and I did the numbers, Stacy, about 230, if my memory serves me correctly. We outgrew Penn Ridge. It was, I would even say more than standing room only. So we've met with the principals, Stacy, I, Steve, and we wanted to put out there if the possibility of having it back at Palisades at the football stadium next year. That would allow unlimited number of seats. We've had it there. If we wanted to switch to other schools in previous years, we can. I think they already saved the date. Ours is always the first Monday in June. So that Palisades has theirs Thursday and Friday with rain dates and chairs. But we just wanted to see what the board's thoughts on it. If you have any thoughts.
I liked it when it was outside. I mean, it was the crazy cicada year, so it was really loud with all the cicadas. But during COVID, we had it outside. I did like it. And, you know, it does make sense, at least with Quakertown and Palisades, they both do their graduations at their football stadium. So they already have the stage set up. They already have the seating and stuff. So I think that maybe, you know, even going back and forth with the schools, maybe Penn Ridge wants to set up a stage at some time, but probably not.
We can always talk about it.
We always have to rent those things to bring them out, so. But, yeah, I think it's a good idea, having it outside. It was very crowded at Penn Ridge. And our indoor stadium is even smaller than theirs.
My son graduated high school tonight.
Congratulations.
It was very hot. I was there. And it was okay, you know, plenty of water, having it at 4, you know, was worked. So, all right, we'll move forward with that. Thank you for the input. Donation report, Carol Cheverello, Mrs. Cool and Mike Esposito and News Computers gave donations this month. And Steve, would you like to take the other donation?
Yes, approximately at 2 p.m. this afternoon, we were presented with this. From Pet Company Equipment, mother's employee there, daughter went through the dental program there, and Mary Ann was kind enough to help me take them around on a tour afterwards. But that was the catalyst of the donation, and they were very impressed with all the programs they saw today.
That's great. Mrs. Dios, it was Mrs. Jankowicz and her daughter Leah said she loved her experience at the school. And it helped find her current position in the orthodontics office, if I'm pronouncing that the right way. She loved her teacher, Mrs. Dios, and spoke highly of her, so we just applaud you for, raising that bar. Nice job. Bucks County, we have special presenters for Bucks County Community College. If I could introduce Mrs. Reshitar, Ms. Natitis, former UPCTS facilitators, we miss them. But if I could draw your attention to the slideshow, and the podium is yours.
Here. Hi, everyone. My name is Ms. Mary Reshitar. I used to say Miss Reshitar to the students. I am the in-school youth coordinator at Bucks County Community College. Prior to going over to the college, I was, as Dr. Herrera had mentioned, I was a facilitator here for many years now. Well, Lisa, if you want to introduce yourself.
My name is Lisa Natitis, and exactly as Dr. Herrera said, I was also a facilitator here at the school for quite a few years before going over to the Bucks County Community College.
So one of the things that we love doing in our grant in the in-school youth program is bringing a lot of the funding to this school. This past year, we have had 82 students and we were in 5 different programs. And Lisa can share with you how many certifications we awarded to the students here.
So
Go
go
back.
ahead. So this is just some of the certifications that we offer the students, which going through them really quick would be CPR, leadership in the workforce, mental health was one that we brought this year to the school, which was 6 to 7 hour course for the students. And we finished the year here with a forklift training, where we had 5 students from the school complete the forklift training.
So a lot of the things that we do, we come into the school and we had a classroom this past year and we took students from all the 5 different programs that we were in at least 1 day a week. And in that time, we did a lot of employable skills and we did certifications and training. A lot of the certifications are industry certs, or they were Bucks County Community College training sessions. We worked on these types of skills, nonverbal and the verbal skills in the workplace. We talked about our personality traits and we tried to match to different occupations and we did a presentation. We went over soft skills and we also went on field trips. We went over to the Percy campus and we also went down to the Newtown campus. We worked on our resume and our cover letters and thank you letters. We did mock interviews, which was really helpful to the students preparing for the workplace, how to dress and prepare for interviews. And we also went on industry certs. We took Joel's class down to the city, which was a lot of fun. We went to the Federal Reserves and we also went to the Mint and we also took Mr. McClung's class as well. That was exciting. And our grant paid for the busing, the food, and if anything else that was needed for the day.
Special Olympics too, Mary, for exercise science.
Yes, so for exercise science in November, we took all 22 students to Villanova for their Special Olympics there. And all 22 students were volunteers to help out those Special Olympians compete for the day. So that was really exciting there. And again, grant paid for that. But as Mary was saying earlier, these are the 5 programs that we worked with this year, which is the dental, careers, exercise science, graphic communications, the law enforcement, and the healthcare careers. And that's the number of students we had in each program and how many certifications the students earned while they were working with us throughout the year. So half of these programs we worked with these students in the first half of the year. And the other some of the other programs we work with the second half of the year. So amazing. Also, Ms. R wants to talk real quick about the EMR program that we offered this year. It was the first time that we offered that. And she can mention that if she'd like, but amazing number. 4 out of the 82 students that we have here at UBCTS, we gave out 446 certifications to the students, which are all, as Mary had said, industry certs to prepare them for that workforce.
So I just want to touch on that in this in-school youth program, we are county-wide. Lisa and I are in the upper part of the county, and we have coworkers in the lower part of the county, and they work in Bristol at that campus. We had 103 students in the upper part of the county, and 82 of them were from here. We had a cohort at Quakertown High School, and we also had a cohort at the academy. But we, of course, working from here, we love we love all the students, of course, that goes without saying. Working with the students here, it was exciting because a lot of the students are career-based as they are, and we can dial into what their interests are right now, and we have a good opportunity to pick those certifications that are appropriate for the programs that they're in. And Mr. Ritter's group, we put the emergency medical responder. That was new for us. It was a 50 credit hour, and 12 students successfully went through that program. And that was pretty exciting for us, doing that for the first time. We wanted to try the EMR first, and then we can talk about EMT. If a student has interest in going into EMT, we could put them into our sister program, OSY, upon graduation, and they can explore that. That's something also that we do with the students. We move them into other grants if they so choose. We help them get ready for college, or we get them into the workplace. That's essentially the gist of the in-school youth program.
So I have a question. The industry certs that they're getting through your grants, through your program, they can also help with graduation requirements, right? Like, because wasn't there something that if they don't pass the Keystone testing, they can offset that with an industry cert? And would these qualify for that?
That is what Quakertown Academy had done with several of their students, if they enrolled into our program, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great.
So, it is a very tailored program to each individual needs of that student. We are in contact with the student after graduation, if they have any questions or if they need any assistance with anything. That's all a part of enrollment.
Is the grant ongoing?
I'm sorry?
Is the grant ongoing?
Well, it's a grant. So we have funding this year. We have funding next year,
Okay.
and we just hold our breath for the following year.
But you have to reapply. Year.
We have, I believe we are good for 2 years, and we're going into our second year. And then, yes, we do reapply for it. It goes up for bid, correct? Yes.
Approximately how much did you spend per student in all these grants? I think you should know the kind of money that the college and is put into each one of these students. They see 446 service. But what kind of money were you actually looking at per student?
Okay, so thousands and thousands of dollars, our grant puts out. If we want to talk about EMR, that was about $1,000 per student. We had 14 students going through. Every CPR class that we run is several thousands of dollars. I don't know if I can pull a number out like that. If I had to make an educated guess, it's probably between 3,000 to 5,000.
And what a wonderful investment, and certainly the number of credentials and certifications earned is going to bode well for future grants. So we thank you for that.
Does the grant stipulate the certifications, or, do you decide that? How does that work?
We have a creative job, and I'm thankful for that, to be honest. Again, it's individualized to the student and to the program. So Lisa and I oftentimes advocate for a student. If you want to talk about your student in exercise science.
Oh, okay. So we have one student in exercise science who was a senior this year. And he came up to me and he said, Mrs. Ann, I'm going to go to Bucks. I've enrolled in Bucks. I've enrolled in the exercise science program. He goes, but what I want to do while I'm at school is I want to have a job. And I really want to be a personal trainer. Could you help me out with that? So going to our boss, Mr. Francis, I told him about this student. So I was able to have this student come to the college. We sat down and we registered him for a certain certification so that he can become a personal trainer. Over the summer, I think it was maybe about an 8 to 10 week course for him to take. When he's done, he'll be a personal trainer. Last I spoke to him, he was more than halfway done already with the course. That alone itself was a $1,500 certification. So we did personal training for him, and we also did nutrition course. So he would be able to help clients with nutrition, tell them what to eat, when to eat, along with personal training.
We have a lot of
business with those two things alone, and probably.
yeah, there's a lot of success stories that we have of how we've worked with students and how we had helped them facilitate into other areas, other positions, other job opportunities. I had a phone call on maybe starting the dialogue with PWE. I don't know if that's something we can work out, but it's a conversation that we can have. So getting back to your question on, are these certifications set in stone on what we can do? As you had mentioned, we can explore other options, and that certainly is the case for next year. When we go into other programs, we're hoping to work in, maybe we could work in cybersecurity, just wondering if that's an option. And in that case, then we would shift gears into what is appropriate for that student. So if that all makes sense.
Yeah, they have a pretty extensive list of certifications that they could get through that program.
It's always a conversation, and we can always go ask and see if we can get approval for it.
I have two questions for you. So you said that your grant program is up in 2 years and you're now in your second year?
This 24-25 will be our second.
Okay.
We'll go to bed.
So I'm assuming you're now starting the process of either exploring where new grants are or looking at the existing grants that you've worked with?
So our boss is really the one to have that conversation. He knows the ins and the outs when the ball starts rolling on what he needs to do if we have to revise things to make us competitive. We have grown.
You've got a great story. I mean, I
Thank you.
think you're doing a wonderful, and it fits into how we think here at the tech school. So I just think those stories should be told, and you're well documented with them. So I'm excited. I think that this program should, continue, but it looks like it's driven via grant dollars, not public sector dollars that are allocated from government or whatever. These are grant dollars.
Correct.
So it's got to be a very competitive environment.
It is, and we're very successful. I'm not gonna lie. We have grown the program incredibly. Years ago, before I left the tech school as a facilitator, in the afternoons on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I ran a program here called Tech Bridge. Do you guys remember that? Tech
Yes,
Bridge?
yeah.
And that was under a different company that was not with the college. And that, I think we had 17 students at that time for the whole year. And then the grant, they lost that grant, and then it went over to Buck. I happened to follow it. And we had 40 students here, and now we had 82 here. And then the upper part of the county, as I had mentioned, is 103. So it has grown. The students have to go through an application process, which can be daunting for them. And it can also be scary because we ask for certain documents from them, their birth certificate, their social, so that the state knows that this is a student and we can get that funding for that student. So that whole process, as we know with teenagers, can be difficult to get that application back, but they're so excited to get the benefits from this program. That is one reason why we had the enrollment success that we have had. Plus, the instructors here are amazing. We love working with them. They like to work with us. It's a really perfect partnership. It has been. Marianne, it's been great. We worked with Marianne for many, many years. So
this is a state grant?
That's correct.
State grant, and is it under PD? We
are TANF funding. So through the county, we we might be switching. I don't know if this is what's gonna happen, and I don't know if I'm saying too much, but I think I feel comfortable. We're definitely under TANF right now, TANF funding. I don't know if you're familiar with that. All students across the county are eligible for TANF. Then there's another program called WIOA. I don't know if you're familiar with WIOA, and there's other restrictions, other guidelines, other funding. So right now, we've been very lucky to be under the TANF. And we also have COVID relief funds that we're working through as well. But that money is almost, dried up pretty much, so.
I have one other question for you.
Mhm.
It's kind of self-serving, but I'm gonna say it anyway. You're growing these students, you're maturing them, you're getting them ready for the workforce. What really kind of spurred me on was the last student you talked about. He wanted to, start his own business. He wanted to become his own personal trainer. Are you giving the students any future documentation or knowledge about starting their own business?
We're doing that at the tech school through Lehigh University and SPOR. So that's a major initiative that they've come in through Mrs. Landis, making that partnership. So that'll be a major initiative next year for entrepreneurs from the tech school.
Do our students even see their teachers anymore? They're speaking to them, they're getting consultations from Lehigh about starting their own
And they made
businesses.
over $1 million.
I know, they're out on co-op, like.
We do a lot of deep dives into the employable skills. So when you're asking about the business, we have those conversations with the students, but as Dr. Herrera said, there's other resources for that to happen on a more involved level. As far as what we do, it's the soft skills, the nonverbal skills, the business etiquette, the thank yous, when you're in an interview to have the eye contact, take your earbuds out. That sort of thing, just from the ground up. And then in addition to that, the biggest success, I think, outside of our content that we share in the classroom is the certificate. That is huge. Their resumes look amazing by the end of their senior year. And we have contributed to that, I think. One more thing I'd like to add on another note. We have programs at the CAP building down in Bristol. Those programs are welding programs, industrial maintenance programs, and construction trades that they're on an adult level, more of an adult. Our sister program, the OSY program, can take that funding on for students, and they can go through 3 sessions of 16 weeks each, and it's a good amount of money. It's like $7,000 per session. And that's something that other programs can pick up the tab. So people don't know about that. And we have that information and we share that with students. We have a couple students here in Quakertown that will be taking the welding program. Not only are they going to be taking the welding program for all that time, but they will receive the equipment for it. They will be getting refunded for travel expenses, and then they have a PWE for the time that they sit in class. There's a lot of opportunity for the students, and Lisa and I are here to service the community and to help them make that happen.
And you'll hear that from cosmetology with the esthetician, which some of our students benefited next. And they're also, we're bringing back other opportunities here on site at the tech school, like CDL, et cetera. So we're still continuing those conversations to bring revenue, get industry certs, help our students and even the adult community at the same time.
So one of the other things I just want to throw out there is that when the college came in here, it helped facilitate articulation agreements that maybe weren't as strong with the college. By them coming in here, they helped streamline that. And we went from my worst articulation agreement, which was through Bucks County Community College at 3 college credits, all the way up to 24 college credits. And that had a lot to do with them coming in and streamlining that, and also making contact with Sarah Jacobs down there through Matt, and with him being an adjunct down there, it actually helped streamline a lot of that. The other big thing too that I think that you all should be aware of is that by the college coming out here, the way it aligns with what we do here, these certifications, it just, and then no offense to Quakertown, because I'm an alumni from Quakertown, lived there all my life, But it accesses not just Quakertown. This is for Palisades and Penridge to take advantage of it. Instead of just going out to a specific school, all the students here have a possibility of going into the program. So I think that's huge. So it's not just one school that's being concentrated on, it has access to all three schools. And I think that that also truly makes it successful as well.
Thank you, Joel. And that's actually, you didn't know this, but that was one of my topics, an updated MOU. So, law enforcement, healthcare, 9 credits, graphics, 6. We just signed computer networking, cybersecurity, 20 credits. Culinary and baking have 11. So we just signed that updated MOU. Thank you. We appreciate that. And Joel, right up, since you're up, you don't like a lot of tension on yourself. But, Mr. Ritter, thank you, Lisa, and thank you. Joel, congratulations on being selected a Distinguished Educator Tour. You want to say anything a little bit about your experience there?
No. Yes, so I had an opportunity to head down to LACTIN and a lot of the different branches of the military. I've had the pleasure to work with in my law enforcement end of it and continue to train them outside of the box. And what this was it was an actual acknowledgement on the service that I put into on a multifaceted, not only as an educator, but also with the extensive work that I put in with military, the different branches. So it was hot. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. It was stinking hot. Every day was well over triple digits. But what it did also too, from the educator standpoint, it enabled me to bring back some other additional resources for my cadets. And also when we have the opportunity to work with the militaries, such as with pre-testing for ASVABs, and we're an official testing site for Fort Dix. The nice thing about it, this particular branch, the Air Force, they offer something that none of the other branches offer. If you are successful in completing your tour there, your service, you can receive your associate's degree, which is accredited, and no other branch has something like that. They all have things that you can go on for continuing ed with your GI and GI Bill and so forth. But this is a nice little caveat of the Air Force that everyone that's enrolled there has an opportunity to actually receive at least an associate's degree when they successfully complete their tour. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel. Nice job. We started talking with the college in September, and they're like, hey, what about this esthetician program? We would thank the board for their support with sending a lease agreement with them. And you also were accredited by the PA State Board of Cosmetology, successfully passed the inspection. And tonight's your last class, but we wanted you to do a quick little presentation for the board on the success of this program.
String out across here. So there was a representative from the community college down there a little bit ago, but she has another obligation, so she had to leave. So we actually presented them with certificates tonight of completion. It's a non-credited course. So this is our first ever class of 2024 aesthetics class. So nice proud. Well, everybody completed 300 hours for the program. So 5 of them came in as complete adult learners. 2 of them are our high school students who came in as juniors for the day program. They came and spent all afternoon with me and then another 3 hours at night. Peyton especially is sick of me. She's been here for the last 2 days from 7 in the morning, or the last 2 weeks, from like 7 in the morning until 3, and then back in at like 5:30 till 9 o'clock just to get hours in. So, so my 2 high school students still have a few hours to complete yet. We have some online certification things that they're going to do. They completed their curriculum, but we still have hours that we have to complete. So there's different certifications. So the 5 adults, as soon as we walk out of here, we're going back and they're applying to take their licensing exam tonight. So they're lining up jobs and they're all excited. And
And I told the community college, I said, one of the things that I found most interesting in the last week or two, my adults were saying the same things that my seniors were saying. I can't believe it's over. I made it through. Wow, who would have thought I could do this? Like, it was funny because I'm thinking, okay, they're adults, like, no, we all think the same thing whenever we graduate. Like, those of us went to college, like, what did we think? Like, oh man, I made it through that. You know, it's the same thing you thought about high school graduation kind of thing. So, but they have been an amazing group to work with. They all have such a fantastic touch when it comes to the massage and the energy and doing the makeup and the eyes for the different shades of red that exist in lipstick. They really, I mean, like, to have the entire group, I know it's only 7, but the whole group has just been phenomenal to work with, and they're very conscientious about everything, and I have no doubt that they're going to be successful.
Mrs. King, can you tell us a little bit about what's on the screen?
Okay, so what is on the screen? So we had a guys' night, or two nights that were guys' nights, so that we just had men in for the facials. And so Officer Zuko is here on a regular basis. Officer Zuko was approached to be one of the clients that night because somebody needed a model that night, a partner, and so he arranged for another, that was a Bedminster officer laying there. The other officer was a Tinicum Township, am I saying that right? Tinicum Township officer. What amazed me, they lay there in full gear because if they got a call, they had to go. And I felt so bad, so we had to adjust the chair, and the chair is not made for 6 foot, whatever the Tinicum officer is, he's a tall man. But they laid there in full gear, so if they had a call, like, they had to like wipe the creams off and go real quick. We got lucky and they were both able to be there and enjoyed it. But it was just like a great community relationship thing. And they had never experienced a facial before, so they got to relax and felt great. And they're anxious to do it again next year, and a couple other officers are hoping to be able to join. We can't do more than 5, I only have 5 chairs, but they will do 2 nights. So, but it was just a really neat way to have some community liaison between us and the police departments in our area. So hopefully next year we can get a couple more departments to participate. So, and the students were a little nervous about it because they're officers, they were a little intimidated, and I'm like, you're not in trouble, so what's to be intimidated by, right? Right? Like, so, but we had a great time, and there were some other gentlemen there, a husband, some fiancés, boyfriends. So everybody just gravitated, everybody had a good time, and we just meshed, and it was great. So.
Congratulations.
Well, we are going to continue for approval to do this again next year. I'm doing an information night, Monday night on Zoom. They already have 3 people that are in the registration process, so we got to get moving to get the contract like signed and approved. But I guess it won't be August board meeting now, but.
And so if there's any seniors in the school districts that are interested too, the college have really helped us, et cetera, besides our existing students. If you know of any that may be interested, we want to get the message out.
Right, it's just the aesthetics portion, so it's just skincare and cosmetics, makeup, so there's no nails, there's no hair. And it's 300 hours, and it's gonna go from September to the end of February.
Do you have a flyer or something you can share?
Bucks County Community College has one that they're creating.
Okay.
So
Well,
I haven't
if they
gotten
send
yet,
it
but
to
when
the
I get it-
JOC, maybe we'll help you distribute that.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just a quick announcement, representatives from the 99s are doing a Women's Aviation Day on August 9th at Van Zandt Airport. Mr. Linden, long-term supporter of all UBCTS, made a big push along with some representatives to get the small engine program up and running about 6-7 years ago. We started doing more aviation through donation of motors, partnerships with Pittsburgh Institute of Aeronautics and some major employers. So we have a good start here for aviation in Bucks County, long, proud history. So if you want to get the word out, you could sign up. And there's workshops and students will be able to ride at the airport. The,
An easy place to get to, but once you get there.
health and
Corner.
Health and safety plan update, we reviewed our current plan and do not have any recommendations or revisions. We will be applying the current health and safety plan to the upcoming school year. School threat response training, our own Chief Phelan, Quakertown SRO Bob Lee, and Evan Kalbaugh from Bucks County EMA are planning a tabletop training exercise on Wednesday, August 14th. Here at the tech school from 9 to 12. The scenario will focus on a swatting scenario impacting multiple schools at the same time. It'll be a tabletop style exercise progressing through 3 modules. And we're glad for that collaboration to continue. We also see Quakertown is running their own health and safety day, which I've signed up for. I'm registered. I know Upper Bucks will be there. Dave, you're signed up too? And that's on the 19th, and it's a Bucks County initiative, and Dr. Freeman, we're looking forward to participate that day. The carpentry program partnered with Springfield Township. I just deleted the wrong one, sorry. But the Springfield Township Park and Land Preservation asked us to design, prep, and construct an information kiosk, which is going to be placed at Peppermint Park Community. And the plans were approved by the PLPB, and Waring supplied the materials. NASA hunt, just as an updated, we don't want to be known as a one and done, but round 2, all of the things were inspected and evaluated. That were inspected and evaluated have passed a rigorous quality assurance checks for year 2. Comments were excellent work, ensuring sharp edges. All dimensions in the drawing are correct. All 10 parts will be used for the next assembly. Excellent work. Keep up the excellent job. Keep up the good work.
So are there some actually on the space station now, or these are still in approval stage?
That's still in process. This is the next round. I don't know if they're up officially. I know we signed and they're going up. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, are we also looking to run that program again?
Yes. Because we get a lot of donations. Those parts are not cheap. So the fact that we get to work with high quality materials goes a long, long way. And they also give us the supplies, the equipment to do that. So we're very thankful for that partnership with NASA.
And we're gonna try the culinary again competition?
Yes.
Okay.
Will it be the same parts? Will it be the tanks again, or do they do something else?
It could be something else. I'm not sure about next year though.
Okay. Cool.
Summer camp update. Lisa laughed. Oh, Lisa, she was a big help with the original summer camp. When did we start that, Lisa?
19? Yeah.
So, it went excellent. It was so we had 4 programs. We had 105 campers. One parent told us that they were involved with the Da Vinci Science Camp and Art Camp, and they learned more at the, nothing against the Da Vinci Science Center, but they learned so much here.
Yeah, I thought it was, so my daughter came, this is the first time, and she's a 4th grader. She loved it. She absolutely, every day there was something different. How the teachers interacted with them, all the different things. I mean, for baking, she came home, they made pizza, they did things with cupcakes. She brought home 6 things of cupcakes, did the icing, had a recipe for everything. We learned about, you know, the lungs and the intestines. It was wonderful, to the point with vet, she was like, how can I volunteer? So she's only 10. So I asked one of the teachers, and they're like, she can, you know, if I'm with her. It was just fabulous. It was just such a wonderful experience for her. So my other boys they can't wait. They're still little, but they can't wait to do it. So I thought it was great.
My daughter did it for the first time this year too. She's in 7th grade. And she was actually mad at me the first day she came home because she couldn't do it. She didn't know about it before that. But I said, we were away those other weeks. We couldn't.
Right.
come, but yeah, it is,
It's a great
It
opportunity.
is a great
It
opportunity.
really is. And the pricing, considering how expensive camps are, the pricing was, I mean, that was amazing. So kudos to all the teachers and for putting it together. Thank you.
And we want to thank you for your time. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And well said. Thank you very much.
and that was helped out with grants as well, too, correct?
Yes.
That's how the pricing gets to stay as low as it is.
Yeah.
And that's the PA Workforce Development or the County Workforce Development?
Workforce Development Funds.
Yeah,
And then we're saving the, real quick, I had the opportunity to participate through DVRC at this inaugural submarine industrial base. And what they're doing in Philadelphia is second to none. They need welders, they need machinists. It's vital to our economy, both in Philly and in the country and with our security. And hearing the history of nuclear submarines and where we're at and where we're going and how we need to get there very, very quickly. I know I'm preaching to the choir when I say what we do here is vital. And so there's same things happen in New York, and we know there's another base in Connecticut. Josh Kozak has in terms of welding and metal fabrication, he worked with submarines before. We made those connections. We're going to be on their list. So if our students want to go out of Bucks County and work in Philadelphia or, the world, they'll have those opportunities. So we'll be partnering with them even more in the upcoming school year. And next, thank you for your patience, but we are super excited. As you know, we were in a national competition for one of the best school to work programs in the country. I believe that we successfully completed it along with Lisa. So we should be getting $20,000 for successfully completing that. But we're not finished with round two. We gave our best effort to win from 80 down to 10, which would bring us towards a lot more money and accolades and prizes. In the background, when Mrs. Walker's going to be talking, we put a video together that Mr. hopefully Adrian will be playing. So without further ado, Ms. Walker.
Hello, everybody. I'm not really good at shooting from the hip, so I prepared a speech. So as you know, we were in the United States Department of Education competition that started last year through the Biden-Harris initiative for the chance to win $150,000 grant. So the handouts that I'm giving you is are like a compilation of everything that we submitted. We had to submit our final paper on Tuesday. So it's been a year in the works. So we aim to address the skill gaps in the trades by challenge competition to potentially win a grant of $150,000 to enhance our school to work program. We entered this competition as an expander. So there were two categories. An expander wanting to expand your current cooperative education program, or as a novice, just starting that program. So naturally, we were an expander. So last June, we entered the program. And we were one of over 300 schools that were selected to move to, let me back up. One of 300 schools that applied to be part of this grant. So we submitted a paper, collected some data, and then we were selected as one of 81 schools to be in the second phase. Okay, so that phase went from August until just this past Tuesday. This whole school year was filled with online webinars, data collection, and compiling information. It was a joint effort of administration, teachers, special education, paraprofessionals, employers, and cooperative education. Now the time has come and we submitted the paper, and hopefully they're going to narrow it down and we will be one of 10 schools that will continue on. So part of the paper, I just want to read you part of it, and a lot of the information is in that packet too. But Upper Bucks County Technical Schools' goal as an expander program was to reduce the critical skills gap by strengthening our workforce development plan that will mutually benefit the students, employers, local community, and the school. As an expander contestant, we have strategically planned to increase our work-based learning opportunities, which built a stronger, more competitive, and prosperous program. We aim to increase student opportunities through shadowing experiences and cooperative education placements. We successfully placed 146 students this year, which is an increase of 22% over the 119 last year. We had a second cooperative education coordinator, Mary Ann, and we've increased our shadowing experiences by 200% this year. We plan to partner with our employers to address the needs of our special populations by celebrating students' individual talents. We set out to continue to strengthen our existing employer relationships while making new ones. Our students collectively earned $1,044,926 this school year. So that's pretty amazing when you think about that. Our students worked 71,059 hours, and we kept checking the data and the measurable outcomes to ensure that we were on the right track in order to propel our program forward. Meeting these goals has driven our work-based learning to reach new heights, and we super excited because we just see it continuously growing. Our multifaceted approach allows our school to work program to offer valuable career exploration, internships, and practical work experience, preparing the students for the workforce. Our sustainability plans encompass several critical initiatives designed to ensure that our program's long-term success and growth will be met. First, we aim to increase the number of certified cooperative education teachers, thereby expanding our capacity to offer more students high-quality work-based learning experiences. This certification process will equip our educators with the specialized skills to effectively integrate classroom learning with practical work experience, ensuring that the students are well prepared for their future. Secondly, professional development for our staff is another critical component of our sustainable strategy. Continuous training and development opportunities will ensure that our educators stay current with industry trends, teaching methods, and best practices in cooperative education. This ongoing professional growth is essential for maintaining high standard of instruction and for adapting to the evolving needs of both students and the employers. And lastly, we're focused on fostering and expanding our ecosystem by building robust relationships between future employers and our instructors. We plan to reach out to new companies, inviting them to our events such as open house, giving them tours and OAC meetings. We want to continue to grow our existing relationships with strong communication, and we want the employers to recognize their stake in our school. Through these comprehensive efforts, the teacher certification, professional development, and strengthening industry partnerships, we are dedicated to sustaining and enhancing our program, ultimately ensuring its positive impact on the student career readiness and future success. So we will find out what schools out of the 81 have made it into the top 10 at the end of July. The finalist category will also take place over the span of a year. The competition concludes in June of 2025. There will be a bigger push to grow the program and prove sustainability throughout the year. And if for some odd reason we don't move on, we've already won, right? So we've increased our shadowing experiences, we've increased our cooperative education placements, we've hired the second co-op coordinator, we'll resume our career launch program next year. We've continuously made the adjustments to keep this program moving forward. And we're happy to announce that we have successfully completed everything that was needed to be eligible for close to $20,000 of finalist prize funds from the Department of Education, which will also be awarded in July. So we should hopefully, we've done everything right, Mike? So we should be able to get at least some type of monetary. So some quick statistics: to run the program successfully and properly according to the Department of Education, you need a certified cooperative education coordinator, or in our case, we have 2. Hopefully next year we'll have even more. And these people are responsible for the safety and advancement of skills for the student at the work site. This includes making monthly visits to every job site, speaking with every employer, speaking with every student to determine their progress and obtain direct feedback. So when we meet with these employers, we are kind of getting a snapshot of what the students are learning, how they are growing, and of course, we're always double checking safety. Upon receiving this information, we discuss it with the tech teachers in order for them to prepare the student even further if needed. We log time cards, evaluations, collect pay stubs to stay compliant with the state laws. We ensure that employers are adhering to the child labor laws, the minimum wages, the non-discriminatory acts. We help employers get their child abuse clearance, their criminal background check, and also FBI fingerprinting, as these are required by our school. Some of the facts include, through this Career Z challenge, we had 30 hours of Zoom meetings this year, 146 students in the program, 19 from Palisades, 64 from Penn Ridge, and 63 from Quakertown. We have 34 underclassmen working through the summer. We have had over 107 employers this year from Bucks County, Lehigh County, and Northampton County as our students travel. Over 71,000 hours worked, over $1 million earned by the students, over 20 employer letters, which you have a copy of one of the employer endorsement letters that we had to submit as part of this Career Z challenge. And 83% of the seniors were offered full-time employment from their co-op placement this year. So it's been a long journey. And a lot of work, but $150,000 is nothing to sneeze at, so.
And it's not really a long journey. You're still doing it, right?
Oh,
You're
I'm still doing it.
You're still following the students all summer long.
Oh, absolutely.
We've got tours
Absolutely.
set up for Monday, Tuesday with the DVRC, so we continually take business and that's our lifeline, so.
Yeah.
Keep plugging into the tech school.
This is amazing, and this is a beautiful presentation. you've
Oh,
done.
thank you.
Thank you so much for doing that. 83% of your seniors.
Yeah. And that's up from last year, it was 81%. And this year it's 83. So hopefully we can continue to keep growing. And sometimes the employers are only looking for a short-term employee because somebody's out on medical leave or disability or something like that. So sometimes full-time can't be offered, but 83% is pretty good.
And I'd imagine some of the construction companies, only if they're working locally, if they're working someplace very far away, they can't really get a student up there for half a day.
Well, I've got some students that drive pretty far. One of my HVAC students was working, well, still is working for Hannaberry, and he was doing work in Macungie, and he was doing work in Whitehaven. He was all over the place. We have students traveling down to Yardley. Sometimes they're in New Jersey. So the kids want to go to work.
Yeah.
You have someone behind.
With the 83%, some of the kids that aren't part of that 83% are actually going to college. And that's why they went on.
That's why they're like, no, that's good to know.
All right.
Other
Lisa,
questions?
and we don't know when you sleep, but excellent job. I mean, excellent job.
Thank you.
And I think that's my report.
That's your report? Okay, thank you. Excellent report. Good, all good information as usual. And now we're going to move on to the subcommittee report. So before I do that, I neglected to mention the executive session to be held after the JOC meeting is on school safety and security. Thank you, David, for pointing that out here. Let's move on to the subcommittee reports, and we'll start with the facilities committee.
It'll meet again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but going over, I think Mike has the report.
So Site Logic did an update for the roof project, the partitions, the electrical assessment, chiller compressment, long-term facilities plan, and the roof project. The cafeteria balance is going back to the school districts. We talked about the summer maintenance plan. Steve, kudos to you for getting the online purchase rack. That was also another goal during our comprehensive plan from 19 to 22 to put things online. Kudos to you, Steve, and the staff. We talked about potential vehicle maintenance needs for, the following year for planning. We gave an update on the recycling day. Small engine storage, is coming. Thank you, Quakertown School District. We talked about the auction. Steve, do you want to do?
Yeah,
quick-
we got some data today that we got in excess of $16,000 from the auction, that was held, last week.
I think we lost a lot of stuff.
But at the end of the day, we have the auctioneer expense and we have our own labor here, but we should yield a little over 11,000. So I think my understanding far surpassed our expectations, so.
Stephen, Tony, and
Success.
Charlie, excellent job. You had the roofers coming in, setting up, you had the auction. It was not an easy week, but you and your team and the whole team rose to the occasion. Excellent job. And it was clear this week, everything's out. And you know, I don't know if you want to say anything.
No, it's everybody really, chipped in and yeah, it was a long process to get it ready and do it. And then now we're still dealing with pickups, but yeah, it's been really good. Everything's getting cleaned out. A few little stragglers here, but we're excited to reorganize and, get some more cleaning done and stuff like that,
When's the next auction?
I'm looking hopefully at the end of August or beginning of September. You guys are voting on, I guess, some things tonight, and then there's a few things like the vehicles. I couldn't get that together in time, so if we can do a vote at some point, July, this is or something, but yeah, I'd like to get the rest of the stuff out, and it'll all be organized in one spot in Jiffy Lube. And once that stuff is out, we'll be good. Yeah, but it was really, really successful.
So can we officially change the name of Jiffy Lube to now future auction storage?
Yeah, there you
area
go.
or something like that?
Exactly. No, we could do it, yeah. Or whatever else plans. I mean, and the old cabinet making's completely cleaned out, other than, like I said, a couple pieces tomorrow going out. So that's exciting for, Bill and all them for the Kubota program. Whenever we get that up and running, so.
Are
it's
those
good.
the storage containers, are they moving along?
Yeah, as far as I know, we're still looking at it. It was Quakertown, right? Was I think they're coming from. Yeah, we're looking at, I think, early July. We've already, like I said, started prepping our site. We have some more work to do back here. That'll be done in the upcoming couple weeks.
Yeah, that pole barn looks like it's almost done. I'm not sure how the inside.
Yeah.
Looks, but yeah, the outside looks like it's done, but
Yeah,
what they're.
even if it's, end of July, either way, because like I said, we got a little bit of prep work to do anyway. Now, things will be calming down next week. I can
The
start.
trees, the
working on that.
fencing, if it's still light out, if we take a tour, the campus is looking beautiful. Excellent job redoing the fences, putting some barriers in front of that propane tank.
Yeah, we got
Big
that
emphasis
going.
on safety, cleanliness, and pictures 1,000 words. So if you have a chance, just take a look back there.
Yeah.
Excellent job, Tony and Charlie.
Thank you. I'll get some pictures, and yeah, there was so much debris behind the maintenance building. That's all cleaned out, other than a few barrels is going out next week. But everything is cleaned out.
A lot of new parking spots. We're able to park vehicles back there
Yep.
at the rocks. We really look sharp.
Yeah, thank you.
And then the concrete pads and the salt bins are up and running. We are working with someone for composting through the USDA. It's a local person that is going to try to help us secure grants for composting and recycling. So we're kind of excited about that possibility.
And everything went smooth with the roofers getting started, getting all their supplies.
Yeah,
there?
everything, they stayed out of, everybody kind of worked around each other, so it was all the same week, and Chris, and added to everything else going on, machining got all their new machines in, and we got all their old machines out. That's what's in Jiffy Lube now, is all their old machines. So we had that kind of mixes. We had 3 different things going on at the same exact time. So when it rains, it pours, but everybody did a great job. But yeah, we it's moving along. Pretty good. Yeah, and there's no real major hiccups. Yeah, little things here and there, but it was all pretty smooth.
Since we're not going to have another facilities meeting until September, as far as the roof is concerned, we we know that that is going to be finished by the August.
So
Done.
we, yeah,
Tim's laughing.
we actually met with, the organization. Steve, you want to give a quick update too, besides SiteLogic, who is the, obviously.
With Garland.
With Garland, but.
Yeah, we met with Mon Roofing
Okay.
representatives, and Shane is the recent SiteLogic rep that's here. That's kind of under Casey. We also talked to Casey on the phone, but Mon Roofing, basically with built-in rain delays, and everything else they planned, the auction week, they had to work around that a little bit, but they do, most of the touring is supposed to be done before the kids would come back. There might be some metal shelving they have to do and things like that as September starts, but they're saying maybe September 10th to 15th would be again, hoping everything remains the same and there's no 5-day storms and things like that, the tour should be done before people will be back.
And we asked
But-
Casey for a weekly update, so even for this thing right now in writing, the roof is fully expected to remain on schedule at the current moment. So we have Steve, I, and Charlie, Tony, we call weekly, we need updates, communication is the key. Especially with the coordination last week, we had the summer camp, we had the roofers. So we'll do our best to maintain that and get weekly updates, which we talked with from the facilities chair, Mr. Hallowell, that he's informed.
So they've been up there in this heat?
They pulled back this week because of the summer camp.
Oh.
But the prep work is, yes.
They also did ask to start
Yeah.
at 4:30 AM. So we made that concession for them, that the gate would be open, they'd be allowed to be here. Because of the heat, they want to be done by 1, 2 in the afternoon. We want to start like 4:30 AM. Because I have to get the tar, I guess that takes a couple hours to get the tar up to temperature.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Is that it for
Yeah.
facilities?
Yes.
Finance?
Stephen, how are you doing? Fine.
Well, we covered a lot of them there. They overlap so much. The only thing I will add on is the cafeteria money. I attached the email I received from the Department of Ed. The ADMs changed. There was an estimated number we used back in June 6th. But then I've been bugging them because part of the state budget delay, they didn't update the spreadsheets on subsidies, ADMs. So I kept asking because on their website, and it still says it'll be updated in May. Well, May's gone. We're in June. So finally, they sent me an email, I think on the 11th, that said, here's new ADMs. So I applied those. So, unfortunately, I think Henridge is getting maybe 6,000 less, and then Palisades getting almost 5,000 more, and then also Palisades. So Penridge a little bit less, the other two getting a bit more money.
Oh, great.
So-
You guys just voted on your budget already.
They don't need it. They're fine.
We need it. We need every penny.
See, now you're gonna have to raise taxes.
Yeah.
Send it back.
No, you just have to learn how to control your spending.
So if the JLC approves that tonight, we'll send those checks to the districts on Monday. Or I have told them my 3 counterparts, they can pick it up as well. They just want to get it, make sure they get it before the fiscal year ends.
Can you write them on those giant checks to make them take?
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, we can present it at our board meetings.
But other than that, I think we covered everything else on the other items that overlap with facilities.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay, policy. I made the announcement at the policy committee meeting, but maybe some of you weren't, not all of you were here, but David O'Donnell has graciously offered to accept the chairmanship for the policy committee, and he jumped right into it tonight and had some very good suggestions, and I'm really excited to turn that over to him as starting at our August meeting. Okay. And we did the first reading of 121. We were talking about the 715, we're deleting that, and there was some discussion because people still do use fax machines. Is that what the 715 was? Is
I
fax
just
machines?
said some people might, you'd have to ask Tracy if we still have them here.
We use eFax.
We
It goes
don't.
through our email.
Okay. So.
I think we're okay.
We're okay. That's Chris just being Chris. And then we went on to 805, 805.2, and 807. And there were a few things that Tracy had made note of that we there are some changes, and then, all of the second read. We did review policy 249, which is for safe school. And, I understand no changes were recommended by PSBA and, also.
We did recommend a change for that one to remove the qualification of bullying by students.
That's right.
Just bullying.
Yes, we did. Mike, we did, to take off, because David's point was that, it's not just students that we should be concerned about the bullying. But I believe you probably have a policy for employees and administrators and teachers and everything about bullying, but he just felt it would be, stronger if we would take the bullying by students off. Just have bullying, period. Tracy, you got
Is
that
there
right.
Anything because of the review, we reviewed it for safe schools, that will be in committee still without approval? Is there any concern with that?
It's unlikely PD is gonna care if we're in the midst of proposing a revision.
Okay.
I mean, we're not tabling the existing policy, so, and there were no recommended changes, so the policy that PDE expects to see is on your books.
Got it.
If we then choose to change it, that's okay.
Okay,
And it's just taking off those. students.
thank you. Yeah, just always want to be cautious with PD.
Okay. All right. Okay. Program subcommittee, we had a really good discussion tonight and, I sat in for Jordan with Stacy. Stacy reviewed the enrollment. Stacy, do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Sure, we broke out the enrollment data in a couple of different ways just to provide a more comprehensive picture of where our students are coming from, what grades they're coming from, non-public sending schools, et cetera. So the enrollment update was provided to every member. It's currently 5 pages. So if you can't sleep, have a read. But we will be working on a backwards look on enrollment and retention for the same period that we provided the enrollment figures for. So we'll be looking at like the past 4 years of data. Enrollment looks healthy. We're at 314 spots. Just a quick snapshot, Penridge is sending 52.5% of our incoming students, Quakertown 30%, and Palisades 17.5%.
Excellent.
What is
Okay.
Quakertown's current ADM? Just. I didn't know if you knew offhand.
About 45%.
Yeah, about 45%. We're only sending 30% of students. That was the two numbers I wanted to put together.
Any other questions for program? Stacy? Okay, thank you very much. So we're going to move on to the Articles of Agreement Committee. I'm passing out my notes from the committee meeting from June the 6th that we held. The meeting was called to order by myself, acting as the moderator for the committee. Our purpose for the first meeting was simply to review the current articles of agreement that were last revised February 18th, 2021, and approved by PDE March 18th, 2021. Comments and suggestions from the attending public were considered, along with the comments and suggestions from the committee. So the following 15 articles, and don't be scared because a lot of these articles that we discussed are just going to be very small. You know, there's not a whole lot of changes, but the 15 articles were identified for review, and that was Articles 3, 4, 5C, 6, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 20, and 21. So our next meeting will be held at 5 p.m. September 5th, prior to the Facilities Finance Committee meeting. And at this meeting, we're going to begin our review of Article 3, and then we will move forward. We may be able to get a number of articles completed, but we're not specifying that at this point. Many of these articles only need a few minor changes. So the committee is asking that the JOC review each of these articles over the summer break and come back in September with your input, or if you prefer, share those thoughts with either your representative on the committee or email them to me and I'll compile in preparation for the September meeting. Quakertown has already taken a first look at the articles and has submitted suggestions which we will carefully consider. The committee thanks all of you who attended our first meeting and looks forward to moving forward in September. If you need a copy of the articles, you can contact Tracy and she can email them to you, but I think she already did that, but we know how our inboxes are, so if you can't find your copy, go ahead and I think we did hand out hard copies at the meeting as well, so we probably have some of those. So the committee is comprised of Jim Hallowell, Bob Cormack, and Chris Spear, and I act as moderator. So thank you very much. I'm going to be emailing my notes out to the committee along with a copy of the Quakertown revisions, if Chuck will send me a copy of those. Chuck.
I can send you a copy too.
Okay.
I just,
As
I
we were
couldn't
talking
do it
about the
today.
inbox, I couldn't find it.
No,
in the
I
inbox.
couldn't do it today just because I was swamped
Okay.
at work, but I
Okay.
will.
All right, pardon?
No, my computer wasn't.
I didn't bring
Oh.
mine either today, but I'll do it tonight. I'll send,
Okay.
do you want me to just send it to you or to JOC?
Send it to me and then I'll send it along with
Okay.
the notes, okay? Any questions on that? Or comments? Okay,
Well,
moving forward,
Excuse me, or you want it emailed to you directly?
you can email it to me directly,
I'll
yeah.
forward it over. I have it here.
And I'll put, anybody that emails me anything, will compile that, I'll distribute it to the committee and then at the meeting.
No, I think he's sending you the proposed.
Yep, I found the email right now, resending it.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I have my laptop.
Good, thank you. Okay, any other comments or questions on that? All right, let's move forward then with the consent agenda, so. We'll start with, I'd like to combine A, B, C, D, and E, unless there's any questions or problem that you want to pull any of those out. We'll move forward, and can I have a motion to approve items A through E, which include the May minutes, the May financial reports, the June bills payable, the personnel recommendations, and item E, authorize the administration to pay bills over the month of July and August and to be ratified at the August JOC meeting.
Make the motion.
I'll
Second.
Okay, thank you. Are there any comments or questions on any of those items?
Question on the June bills payable. I saw 2 invoices for tree removal and.
Tony just left.
Yeah.
If I went for a tour with Mike, they did cut a whole lot of trees down.
I'm not questioning, I just saw 2 of them and it's about 50 grand, so I have 2 questions.
Oh,
I know that's a professional service, right?
Yes.
So that's professional. Is it a normal course of events to bid that out, or do we get a couple of quotes, or, I mean, I don't, I'm sure it was a fair price, but don't know if it was.
Yeah, I know the company,
Have we done business with those guys before?
I thought that answers yes, and the gentleman was here, I think he lives 10 minutes away, and the company's local. I forget the name offhand, but Tony and Charlie were instrumental in procuring his services, but, yeah, I think there was more than just the trees. They, again, you mentioned earlier, fixed some fencing for us, probably to get everything in that description.
All right,
But
but
they did
no
some-
big deal. Don't.
But he'll be, I'm sure he'll be back in.
I'll get it answered after the meeting.
Good question. Any other comments or concerns on items A through E? Okay. Oh, here, do we want to ask Tony?
Tony, there's a question on the company with the tree, in terms of procuring and our due diligence in selecting that company for the trees.
Yeah, so the initial phase of the trees, yeah, I got 3 quotes. And yeah, this company came in the best. But then there is some other tree work that needed to be done, smaller jobs. So I went with a different company. So it was JC Lockheed and Easy Tree. So the smaller company was cheaper for the smaller projects. The bigger company was cheaper for the bigger projects and the type of equipment, chippers and things like that. So, but yeah, absolutely. I got 3 quotes for the bigger stuff. Even for the smaller projects, I still had multiple quotes, even with the smaller company.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Sorry for the delay.
Okay, all right. Any other questions or concerns on that? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, vote carries 8-2-0.
Ms. Landis, I have a letter from Mr. Dietrich that he asked me to read. It's now appropriate time since we did personnel recommendations. As you may have noticed in personnel recommendations, there was a letter of resignation from Mr. George Dietrich. Mr. Hallowell's aware of it. He asked me to share this with the board. I want to express my sincere gratitude for the incredible opportunity to work at Upper Bucks over the last 5 years. Being trusted with developing a new program and receiving unwavering support has been truly rewarding. Due to personal reasons, I need to move schools. An opportunity to return to my hometown and work at Ole has arisen, and he's taking that opportunity. Upper Bucks has been like a family to me. In these past 5 years, I've witnessed remarkable dedication from administrators such as I mentioned myself, Mrs. Pakula, and Mrs. Cram, and their support of teachers and faculty. I've seen facilitators tirelessly assist students with exceptionalities, guiding them to success. Teachers have generously given their own time to support and mentor their colleagues. The support I received from OIC members, such as Mr. Hallowell, the board, and the community has been invaluable. I am confident that the program we've built together will continue to thrive. An experienced ag teacher once told me a truly successful agriculture program will outlast all of its students and teachers. I believe this program will endure and flourish with this continued support of the board and community. Thank you for allowing me to help start this program and for all the support you have provided. I will always cherish my time here and the relationships I have built.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
Thank you for reminding me to share that.
You're welcome.
What is the plan going forward?
The posting is all ready to go. We have a great reputation here. Although some of the Penn States, and we put some phone calls out, and especially Del Val, some of the student teachers have been placed. I believe Upper Bucks is a destination and that people want to come here. So we will do social media, we'll put it out, and we will no doubt get a good applicants.
But we're going to go forward with the ag program.
Yes, yeah, so that program, as you remember, started off as a landscaping, was very under-enrolled. We turned it into a true program for animal science, plant science, both biotech. We're working with Pennsylvania Society of Biomedical Research to be one of the first lab animal science pre-apprenticeship programs. So it'll continue to flourish with its strong curriculum and program, and looking for that right person now to guide and moving forward to even new heights. Mr. Howell, do you want to share anything?
You want to jump in and teach? You want to jump in and teach?
PA does offer those emergency cert. Do you have 4 years industry experience?
I probably might reach the retirement age, I don't know.
Now, George or Mr. Dietrich was also the FFA coordinator. Do we
No,
have
he
to?
was, he volunteered his time with that, so.
Oh, okay.
On tonight's agenda, Mrs. Danko will be if with the board's approval, become the FFA coordinator.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that that was covered.
And if it's okay, Chief Phelan, congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
Chief
He's
Phelan's here with us. He's going to be doing the Act 44 report with us later, but with over 25 years in law enforcement, including significant roles as chief of police in Bedminster and Tinicum townships, Chief Phelan brings extensive expertise in community policing, operational management. As an adjunct faculty member of Bucks Community College since 2007, he has instructed numerous criminal justice courses. How many at the college? 25. fostering the next generation of law enforcement professionals. He has been integral here at the tech school, and we look excellent with Mr. Ritter starting with the program and continuing, help guide, and we appreciate it. Tonight at my son's graduation, I started the first law program in Somerset County Vocational in 2011. One of the officers there tonight was a detective. He was 11 years, told me about his best friend who had a hard time coming to school, but through the tech school, who's now a sergeant in the police department, works as a paramedic. And then when I came to Upper Bucks, I'm like, wow, I wish I would have visited Mr. Ritter's program years ago. Just takes it to the next level. So we believe this will allow more applicants to come in. It'll open up some more spaces in other programs and similar path that Mr. Ritter took. So that program's in good hands for years to come.
So will you be Mr. Chief feeling then, or how does that work?
As good as chief instructor.
Don't tell them that. Don't tell them that.
They will call you anything they want. Thank the board for the opportunity. Like Dr. Herrera said, I'm wrapping up almost 26 years in local law enforcement, Tenneco and Bedminster, 6 years as chief of police, and 17 years teaching at the college. So I feel like this opportunity is the right one for me, because it parallels both of those paths that I took. I've had 10 years on a crime scene unit, 5 years as the commander. So I've seen a lot of things that I think I can help interweave into the lessons. I've done that with the college students now. And like Dr. Herrera just said, I mean, one of the most rewarding things is, and I've had it happen to me now, is you have officers and detectives approach you and say, hey, you were my professor. So, well, was I any good? And they're like, hey, we're the best. All right, good. But that makes a difference because now they're in the field and they're successful. So I'm just really grateful to the board for the opportunity. And I think the program is going to be excellent and we need it. I think, I have a good handle based on my experience here on what the community wants in their law enforcement. Fortunately, we're not a real high crime area, right, in Upper Bucks. That's a good thing. What the people want are problem solvers, and they want professionals. When they dial 911, they want somebody to show up that's going to be there to help them solve their problem. And I think that's the mentality that we need to take these eager dozens of students who come in here in 9th grade and want to be cops and foster that and mentor them to do that, because we're in a crisis in Pennsylvania with police recruitment and retention. And we have an opportunity here where we have dozens of students who want to do this job. We just need to help them make it happen. So I think between the tech school and what the agreement with Bucks has, we're poised really here to push these students back into our own backyards rather than having to search near and far for people to be officers to serve us. So
Wide variety of careers, bringing 911 to dispatcher, a lot of new things, putting a new twist on that, but there's so many different pathways that you've experienced yourself.
absolutely, and there's a great network. There's great officers in Upper Bucks, and I think some of the connections that I have will really be able to give a leg up to our students here. So thank the board for the opportunity, and I'll see you in the next meeting.
Mike, I'd like to just comment on the process. And the privilege it was to have an opportunity to see very qualified individuals come out here to apply for this position. And it just happens that Matt actually, with what he brought to the table and his experience, and I go back to when first time I encountered you on the road when you first got hired. And so I'm really dating myself now. It's really old because I remember when we actually rolled up on a traffic stop and to see Matt there and how it's all come full circle. With the applicants that we had, they were all very qualified. Matt was just exceptional. He was above and beyond what I could envision where this program, I'm not going to be here forever, and where it's going to end up going. And I can't thank you guys enough for your support and with Mike and stuff like that, and, you know, having the opportunity to select Matt, because, his experiences and his knowledge that he has acquired over the years is impeccable. And I'm looking forward with the opportunity to now work even more with the college, not just with you. It's my fiance, so. You guys kind of wondered what that was all about. That's more of a dig on her. But it's gonna be really nice to actually have that pipeline down there with Sarah through Matt. He's really, I've watched him take a department for Tinicum and take it to another level. And just with what he did at 21 at Bedminster, I remember calling you when you got the job, and I even said to you then, you couldn't have got a better chief. And see that department from where it is now and how he's been able to bring all the guys together, I think it's a real testament to who you are and your character. So I look forward to working with you, and I just want to let you guys know that you guys really have a solid individual here. Thank you. Thank you.
I wanted to bring something up real quick too, and it goes back to what Chief Mr. I'll figure out what to call you at some point. Now more than ever, I think this is something that's needed. I have never before seen digital signs up for like construction that says police wanted officers to hire. And they were up in Richland Township and Quakertown Borough this year. They were somewhere down near Lansdale, maybe Franconia or something like that. I mean, the fact that this is the right time to expand this program and give more kids opportunity to get into that. And there is currently a wait list for that program.
Yeah.
And this should go a long way into filling that.
And that's really, I think, a testament to our kids too, that each year we have that, we have all those kids that want to sign up when we see the numbers dropping off. Because when we got hired at, I gotta speak for myself, we'd have over 1,100 applicants for maybe 3 positions. But those were the days of top cops and all those cool things out there. Today, usually what you see on body cams, you don't always see that positive. But that is something that, you know, that I try to instill, and I know Matt feels the same way, that we're going to see. I think in this area, some quality individuals. I know that we talked about some other ideas with Bucks County. We'd like to see the Road Academy, a pipeline that maybe we can get our students into that position where they would qualify for the academy for Act 120. They'll have a lot of the credits already out of the way, and I think with your contacts down at the college and definitely some of the people that we spoke to in the past, I really believe that we can take it to that point, because there is a real need for law enforcement. We see those numbers dropping off daily. It's a real thankless job. You know, we talk about all the times that maybe all the years of experience that we talked 5 times and someone actually said thank you. And most of the time everyone's like saying other things and it's not thank you. So it's really exciting time for us to grow this program to where it needs to be, and hopefully fill that need here, not only in Bucks County, but throughout the Commonwealth.
And it's, to your point, you're right. So, there's openings and that are good paying jobs. That's the other thing. We heard about all the money that the students were making here earlier tonight. These are 6-figure patrol jobs after 4 years. So it's sustain a family, and they're good paying jobs, and it's something that the community needs. Right? The police aren't going away, because when you call 911, you need somebody to show up and help you with your problem. So the fact that this program exists, it can serve to take these young men and women and mold them to fill that role. That's why I'm here. So it's great.
So you get your own dog or?
You get your own dog.
That's great.
Dogs are not, thank you. Right now, I have an old rescue dog. Hold on.
So Mike, on that note, the partitions, are we going to have them ready, up and running for the fall?
The latest partition update, we're picking the colors. Steve, I met with Casey. And the architectural review of the shop drawings occurred. The structural engineer is going to review them next week, along with the final color material selection. Once those steps are completed, final orders will be released. It's expected that materials will be delivered in mid-August with installation to occur as quickly as possible after that date. Hot off the press, that's Casey's note today.
Okay. We'll see.
That's a very good way to put it.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Okay, can we move on?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to, and congratulations to Matt. Glad to have you on board. So can I have a motion to approve Mr. David Kahn with Sweet Stevens Katz and Williams LLP as solicitor for the 24-25 school year? For the 24-25 fiscal year, the current hourly rates for chargeable time vary depending upon the complexity of the matter involved. For routine matters, our standard hourly rate for chargeable time is $200 an hour for attorneys and $150 an hour for legal assistance. Our fees for non-routine matters are $220 an hour for attorneys and $150 an hour for legal assistance. And this is effective as of July 1, 2024. May I have a motion on that, please?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Are there any comments or concerns? All right. Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, vote carries 8-0. And item G.
Thank you all. It's a privilege to be here for you. Just so you know, we really struggled with this because this is our second rate increase in, I think, 4 years, maybe 5. And we don't normally do that, but we got hit with inflation the same way everybody else did. You will not see another rate increase for a little while.
Let me
So
write that down.
we take it very seriously.
Get that.
Making it down.
Little wild.
No, there's-
Maybe a month or two.
No, I can just reassure you that we struggle with it every time. So
Well, David, I just want to say, I really appreciate your assistance and your guidance and pulling me out of, things that, whatever, but thank
we
you very
appreciate
much.
your trust every year.
Appreciate having you here. Okay, moving on to item G. Can I have a motion for the continuation of student activity accounts for the following programs? The agricultural and biotechnology science, animal and veterinary science FFA, auto collision technology, automotive technology, baking and pastry arts, construction technology, carpentry, culinary arts, cosmetology, diesel equipment and technology, dental careers, HOSA, graphic communications, healthcare careers, machining technologies, law enforcement, police science, mechatronics, National Technical Honor Society, Skills USA, school-wide organization, small engine technology, welding and fabrication technology. Can I have a motion for that, please?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Any comments or concerns?
Do we actually have to list these all out, or can we just say a student activity fund for every
I
program?
was gonna make that suggestion.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I think it's fine, right?
I think
It's
so.
got its own designated,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Our own program along with Skills USA, National Technical Honor Society, and whatever else, but.
Why didn't you pull that up before?
You were on a roll.
It's already on the agenda. It's too late.
Okay, we have our motion, our second, all in favor,
Aye.
any opposed? Or abstentions? Vote carries 8-0. Okay, let's go to H, and can I have a motion to renew the one-year contract with ESS from July 1, 24 to June 30, 25 to provide substitute teachers, substitute instructional facilitators, and substitute secretaries for the 24-25 school year at the current rates?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or concerns on that?
How's the fill rate that they've been? You know, that.
We're finally getting some subs from them.
Okay.
Thank you.
I know one sub that used to work here that said they enjoyed working here more than any, so when they saw there was an opening, they used to like to come here.
Okay, that's good. Great to know. Any other questions or concerns? Okay, let's vote. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Vote carries 8-0. Moving on to I. Can I have a motion to approve the Technology Pool Consortium Agreement with Sweet Stevens, Katz and Williams through the Bucks County Intermediate Unit in the amount of $742 for the 24-25 school year?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you. I noticed this went down from last year, David.
Depends on, yes, it depends on the number because it's through the IU. It depends on how many schools are participating. And I think we had another school join through the IU, so that does.
Oh, okay, all right, we'll put that up toward that other 200.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or concerns on that? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Vote carries 8-0. Moving on to J.
You don't have to list them. You can just say as identified in the table below.
I don't, okay, thank you.
This one has a table, so definitely say as listed in the table below.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the designation of the equipment listed as obsolete and approval for its sale and disposal as listed in the consent agenda? Is that good, David?
I'll second.
And second? Okay, thank you. Any questions on any of these, anything in here? And if not, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? 8-0. Okay, can I have a motion to approve the rates for substitutes, student workers, and other positions effective July 1, 2024?
Make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, any questions? What does that have to, what's the difference between that and the ESS? That would be.
No.
Well, this is the rate the VSS will pay.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Chris?
No, I just had a question, the student workers, I always thought that there was some type of conflict there, like we couldn't pay students to work, but.
We've had some students in the past work in maintenance through our co-op program. We haven't done that this year, but it's still on the books.
It is complicated, but.
Yeah, but they can't, like, when we send the food truck out, they can't get paid to work on that, but. Or can, I see, I don't really know, that's why I said there's always been questions about this, I've just never really gotten the full.
Tracy, we
Don't look at me, I'm.
No, I'm looking at Tracy, I'm looking through you.
the question is with student workers and paying them. We've used them for summer maintenance work.
Summer maintenance.
And many districts do that in a similar nature. That's been it in its entirety. That's my belief, correct?
Yes, it's normally the summer maintenance.
But we know we can't have like the construction students build an addition on the building, like, you know.
Absolutely not. No.
I'm assuming it's because they're summer workers, it's not part of the curriculum, it's not part of what they're here to learn, and that's why it's permitted.
Well,
Like working, like high school kids working at lifeguards at the pool.
right, but there are a bunch of different things at play. Some of it has to do whether it's bargaining unit work, some of it has to do with fair labor standards stuff, federal law, wage. So there are a bunch of different.
So their job
terms of play.
qualifications are very specific. So they don't violate.
Right, but the summer work safely falls, within all that.
And that's why it came up when we were discussing for the food truck, that staff has to go out on the food truck with the students every time they do. And we approved their pay rates. And I remember asking back then if the students got paid to be on the food truck too, but they did not. So that's just trying to
They get
clear some of the
knowledge and
confusion up.
experience.
Yes.
Jim?
No, he's ready for a vote.
Oh, okay. Any other questions or concerns on that one? And if not, let's go to the vote. Now, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So the vote carries 8-0. Excellent. And then, can I have a motion to approve the budget transfers? Which I believe were listed on the agenda on the
Yes.
website, in the board docs.
I'll make the motion.
Second, thank you. Any questions on that? Okay, then let's, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Vote carries 8-0. And moving to M, can I have a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between the local and state police and the Upper Bucks County Tech School? Can I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Any questions or concerns?
This is a one motion to handle each of the different things. I know in the past we've approved agreements with each of the state townships individually.
It's one document. Yeah, it's all one document.
Okay,
Yes.
that's good. I
And
like
I
it.
want to thank Chief Field because he helped me out with that. Because he signs it and then he gets it over to the state police, get them to sign it, and then brings it back here.
Great.
Good.
Good.
Super. Thanks for asking that, Jim. Okay, any other questions, concerns? All right, all in favor? Say
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, vote carries 8-0. Moving on to N, which is I need a motion to authorize the administration to make all necessary budget transfers to close the 23-24 fiscal year in conjunction with the district's independent auditor.
Take the motion. I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions or concerns for Steve on that?
They'll be done by September, right?
Oh, maybe not September, but I can only control so much of that. But the auditing firm was great last year, just I think with how things, in the fall were, it was a little tough for them to get it done by that timeline, but I would foresee definitely by the end of October. Good.
Awesome. Okay, that's great news. Good, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Vote carries 8-0. And then we move to item O, which is I need a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between Upper Bucks Tech School and the Bureau of Career and Technical Education for participation in the BCPE Technical Assistance Program for the 24-25 school year.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay, any questions or concerns on that?
I believe this is how you get Dave Thomas out here to,
That's part of it, yes.
yeah. Okay.
Is the memorandum of understanding somewhere that I'm not seeing?
So it was not provided to us by the state in time, so we selected, Stacy and I did a survey, it's the Distinguished School Leader, it's the NOCD study guides,
The NOCD pretest.
the NOCD pre-test,
And we selected one of the pills.
our participation for professional development for Stacy and I. There was a delay, we filled it out on time, we just did not get the completed document back from PD in time. And so working with Tracy Cram, we did a general motion.
So this is something that doesn't cost the district.
Fair enough, but I
Yeah.
don't have the memorandum to review it like I have everything else.
We could take, I guess, there's no problem tabling.
It might be worth tabling because there's a lot of discussion about this in the PACTA meeting today. And that they are changing the pill offerings, and so I don't think it would hurt to hold it off until August.
Is August acceptable? I mean, from submittal standpoint.
You wanna make a motion to table?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any
Hold on.
unintended consequences, whether or not the NOC study guides. I don't believe there's any unintended consequences. Do you, Stacy?
No, I don't think so. I just think there's gonna be a lot of changes, so what we signed up for might not be available, so.
So the MOU would change. The wording of the MOU would be.
The
changing.
offerings would change.
The offerings would be changed.
But it is flexible too, because if we don't pick something, we could still add to it, so it's. If that's helpful, like that doesn't limit us. What
I'll
we
make a
can-
motion to table this.
Motion to table.
No, you do need a second.
Need a second?
You need a second for motion to
second
table.
it.
There's no discussion. Now you just call the vote on the motion to table. No discussion on the motion to table, just call the vote on that.
Just call the vote. Okay, I'm calling a vote to table the motion for the memorandum of understanding. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
And
Vote carries eight
that
to
was
zero.
next.
And that would come up
Automatically
on
carry this next meeting.
August.
Correct, take it up next week.
Okay, so. Put that over. Okay, thank you. Item P is, can I have a motion for revised policies 716, 718, 800, 800.1, 801, and 804 as distributed in May and recommended by the policy subcommittee. So this would be for the second read,
I'll make
correct,
that
Mike?
motion.
Okay,
The second read and posted on the website, so. Motion, second? You second? Okay, thank you. Okay, any questions or concerns? This was discussed.
So this is approved, approves them to move to the second read.
This is the second read. This is the second read. So we had,
My question, does this approve the moving of the policy to the second read,
first read was.
or does it approve the policy?
it approves it to the second read.
No, these will be approving the
These will
policy.
be-
These
these will be
are up
approving
for
the
second
policy.
read tonight.
Different,
This approves the policy.
and just so you know, every school can handle this. This whole first read, second read thing is nowhere in the school code. This is just a matter of custom and practice. Some schools do it in 3 steps. I don't know if Quakertown does, but
We do it in two.
in 2, right? And that's what the tech school has typically done. This is the second vote, so it effectively makes those policies live.
So,
Tomatoes,
Doesn't-
tomatoes.
and again, I'm not gonna argue if it's in the school code or not, but shouldn't the policy reside in second read for a period of time so the public can review it?
Well, that was.
And I don't know what our policy is.
Well, that's usually between first and second is
Right.
that time.
It's published.
It's usually a month between there.
First read is published on the website, Mr. Shermer, too, so it's probably.
Again,
Okay.
I'm trying to understand what the process is, because I get the sense that we don't know what the process really is. So
But the
I'm
prob-
trying to square it in my head.
Mhm.
I'm assuming there's no changes between the first and second read.
So all policies start in committee and they're not posted on the website.
Right.
From committee, it goes to first reading, which is posted on the website for public discussion. I think the board votes then to move it to second reading, which we're at now. And if tonight the board votes on it, it's adopted, those policies.
It's weird phrasing, the syntax. You did the second read tonight, and now the policies are approved. You're the ones doing the reading. So,
Right,
yeah, yeah.
and again, you know me, I'm just trying to square process,
Good
yeah, so we
question.
do it next time.
Good questions. It took me a while to figure that out, too. I had a great time with all of that.
Yes.
Then I was on the policy committee at Palisades, so. Okay, any other questions on that? And can we vote? All in favor, say aye. And any opposed or any abstentions? Vote carries 8 to 0, and we're going to move on to Q. So can I have a motion to approve the contract with Power School Messenger from July 1, 24 to June 30, 2025 to provide school messenger communicate and school messenger communicate basic deployment for Power School for the 24-25 school year at a cost of $1,250, professional services and setup fees of $2,520 for a total of $3,770. The annual ongoing will be $1,250. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it to bring up this conversation, because I had a question here.
Yeah, I thought we would.
Is this something that we've currently been using? Here?
Tracy.
No, we've been using Swift K.
Okay,
And Swift K is no longer going to be in business. So this is pretty much exactly like Swift K, and it works within our student information system. And it looks exactly like Swift K.
so the people that have current Power School accounts, say in Quakertown, I don't know if Palisades or Penn Ridge uses them. Can this just be added on top of that account? You know, they'll get their tech school messages right with that, or is it like another whole account that they have to log out of the one and log into the other? I honestly don't know. I'm just asking.
This is what we use to send out emergency alerts. So when the school's closed, our students' emergency contacts get a message from us.
Okay.
But the students aren't using Power School in the same way they would if they're sending districts to log in to communicate with teachers or check curriculum.
This is not that.
It's not that.
No, it's.
Okay, that's all. I didn't know if you were doing it for like general communications, like, you know, hey, you have this project due.
No,
You
it's
know.
like Google Classroom
No, it's okay.
and Canvas.
In Canvas, okay.
So they don't see their grades on this then?
They see it in Power School, but that's not this. This is our communication system for emergencies. So when we have to close the school, or if we have to send out a letter to parents about Skills USA or field trip or things like that, they can send out a letter. Back when it was COVID time.
Yeah,
we could
that's
send
what
out a
I'm
letter
wondering.
about COVID.
It's separate.
Cause I know we have it at Penn Ridge, they see their grades on there, so that.
Yeah.
Well, we're also gonna be doing school messenger next.
Through that, but we have Power School. Right.
It's just an add-on to Power.
An add-on, okay.
It's a plugin. It's the functionality is to communicate, but the reason why it partners with Power School is that it's pulling live data. So if you have a student who enrolls on a Monday, we have a snow day on a Wednesday, it's going to pull that student, their information once they're
It
registered.
updates all their contact information through the SIS like every night.
And Adrian does a nice job communicating with the 3 school districts, because everyone has Power School, and we pull that data and make sure that we're all in sync. So I thank Adrian for doing it.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments? Okay, good. Let's move on to the vote and all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Carries 8-0. Okay, let's move on to letter R and need a motion to reappoint Tracy Cramp to serve as the Upper Bucks County Tech School Management Trustee to the Delaware Valley Health Trust for a 3-year period, July 1, 2024 through June 30, 2027. I have a motion. I make the motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on that?
Participate in the consortium here?
Yeah, it's a Delaware Valley Health Trust.
It's not, we use Delaware Valley, but that's not the Bucks County Consortium.
No, it's not Bucks County Consortium. It's the Delaware Valley Health Trust,
So
which is a consortium.
this is for you to be on the consortium
No,
board?
It's the trustee.
no, yeah, the motion's just for DVHD. It has nothing to do with the consortium.
No, I'm the trustee for the school.
Okay. I
Got it.
wrong. Sorry, never mind. That Lily Tomlin thing.
Never mind.
Any other questions? All right, can we vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Excellent. Vote carries 8-0.
Congratulations, Tracy.
Yeah. Do you want to make a speech?
Sorry, Tracy.
We're so happy.
Yes.
One of the appointments. Decided not. She may say no.
Right. Okay. I offered a speech, she doesn't want to give it, so we'll move on to item S. So I need a motion to approve 2 staff members and 2 students to participate in the PA Harvest of the Month session at the School Nutrition Association of Pennsylvania's SNAPA Annual Conference. Oh, wow. At Kalahari Resort, thank you, in Pocono Manor, PA, from July 31st, 2024 to August 1st, 2024, at a cost to Upper Bucks County Tech School not to exceed $232. And SNAPA is paying for the 2 hotel rooms. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
You second?
No second.
Great, thank you. That's $232 each or $232?
Total.
Total, okay. Any other questions or comments?
These are students in which program?
Culinary.
Culinary, okay.
Excellent, okay. Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention?
Like the snap.
The vote carries 8-0.
I'm
Tired.
You're right there.
Okay,
Oh,
item number
okay.
T, or item T. I need a motion to approve the Act 93 agreement, which the JOC had, I'm adding this off on here, which the JOC had discussed and has been reviewed by David Kahn and approved. Can I have a motion for that, please?
I'll make a motion.
And second,
I'll second it.
Bob, do you have any?
Am I allowed the second being the
I
chairperson?
don't know. I'm not gonna complain.
Is that okay?
Of course.
Again?
You mean because you're chair? of the
Yes.
committee? No,
I
once
think
you're sitting here at the JOC table, it's fine.
No, I thought it was a great process. I want to thank Tracy for really getting it underway. And she did a yeoman's job in putting a pending document together. Steve, Mike, part of the team that, we reviewed it, brought it back to the committee, looked at it from an executive session. I shouldn't say that, looked at it from a different viewpoint. And we had agreement and we moved forward with it. And I think Tracy did a great job putting it together. So Tracy, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And it was accepted by, okay,
Membership.
by the membership. So I'm pleased with this system. I'm glad we got it done as fast as we did. And thank you to all the people that are participating. Thank you.
And I want to thank Bob and
Thank you, Bob.
Steve for picking that up, because that was a job. It really was a job. I mean, it wasn't that big a deal, but I mean, it wasn't that difficult because Tracy was so great to work with, right?
Of course.
Yes.
I will agree to that.
Any questions or concerns on that? And also thank you to David for reviewing and bringing that back to us in time so we can get this done by June 30.
At the old rates too.
Yeah. Yes, it's a good one, Chris. Okay, any other questions or comments?
Just impressed that you guys, and I sat on that committee and it took months. For you to get it done this well and this quickly is commendable.
I used your theory of committees.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, worked well, thank you. Okay, can we go to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Excellent, vote carries 8-0. And now we're going to move on to you. I need a motion to approve the agreement with Instructure to provide Canvas LMS cloud subscription starting July 1, 2024 to June 30, 2025 at a cost of $6,320 to be billed prior to the annual start date pending solicitor's review per quote Q 343203-2 dated 6/18/2024. Can I have a motion? Don't look at me like, we'll talk about that. Just get the motion though.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Tracy, do you want to give us a little information on this? Jim's looking at me like I have two heads over there.
It's Canvas is it's for our teachers use Canvas? Correct, Adrian?
Is it for grading?
Yeah, it's for like their syllabus, for like their curriculum, for like how they push information to their students, but also the administrative use it for like, files and for like, they want to get requisitions or they have HR documentation, like personal leave or whatever. Everything's on the portal. So a lot of teachers use this or whatever to put the machine.
And this is something you've used for many years or?
I've been here for 5 years and we've used it ever since I've been here. I believe they started in 2017, not too sure. I know, I believe all three districts.
Yeah. No.
It's, yeah, I think all the districts do. Yeah, I think that Palisades is doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or concerns on that? If not, let's vote. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Vote carries 8-0. Thank you very much. Oh, now we get into number 8, which is the Upper Bucks County Tech School Food Service Fund account. I need a motion to approve the distribution of funds from the Upper Bucks County Tech School Food Service Fund account on a percentage basis as per the 2022 to 2023 average daily membership and the closure of the account with the, is that Perrin? Community? Oh, Penn, my thing, okay, Penn Community Bank. Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Second? Okay, great. We discussed this earlier, so I can imagine there's no comments or questions on that, so let's move to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Vote carries 8-0. And we're looking forward to those checks there, Steve.
Absolutely. Next week.
And moving on to 9, which is the guaranteed energy savings agreement payments. I need a motion for 6/20 to approve the first payment of $80,184 and the second payment of $15,878 to Site Logic for the roof replacement project as per Schedule D of the amendment number 2 of the Guaranteed Energy Savings Agreement approved on April 18th, 2024.
I'll make that motion.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Look at Jim, he doesn't want to vote on this.
Table it.
Should we table it?
Table it,
until we
then the roof
actually
isn't
see
gonna
the
get
roof?
finished.
I know, look at. Yeah.
You can go staple the tarp someday.
Well, at least the materials on there. I guess those should go along with.
I think they did a little bit of, there's been some action.
Yeah, they were up there scraping.
They're really gonna get moving on it next week, I'm pretty sure.
They better.
Okay, we have our motion and second. Can we move to vote or are there any more comments or questions? Okay, all in favor? Come on,
Aye.
you can do it. Any opposed or abstentions? Phew, vote carries 8-0. Okay, finished with the consent agenda. Good job, guys. Everything carried 8-0. Good stuff. Thank you very much. So let's move on to recognition and comments from the audience. If there's.
Yeah, Bob's been waiting.
Oh,
this whole
okay,
time.
Mr. Lindy.
Robert Lincoln, Penridge School District. Will the articles of agreement that are to be discussed in September be available to the public?
Absolutely. The meetings are available to the public too.
Didn't you get a copy of
Will they be
the,
available prior to the meeting?
didn't you get a copy of the articles when you, because you were here for the meeting? Didn't we give you a copy?
I think there was some discussion about some additional articles.
Oh, he's talking about the Quakertown.
Oh, no, yeah. So the articles are available now. They're online. You can get them in board docs.
Yeah.
Quakertown had its own committee and is making suggestions on what changes to do, along with the suggestions that we got from the last meeting. So there hasn't been any real discussion on these changes yet, just identifying areas that we want to discuss for change.
Well, with those, were there gonna be some discussions that might be brought up in the September meeting?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, you would, well, there'll be
Additional
discussions
Information available,
at the meeting, there will
At
be
the meeting.
discussions, yeah.
but not prior to the meeting?
There won't be any discussions prior to the meeting.
Steve, were there any of these, were there any of these papers left over?
Here, you can have one.
Right here.
I know when I wrote
I'm
them.
gonna give him one of those.
That include the Quakertown suggestions?
Does not.
No.
Well, that's what I'm after.
Well, we need to get a copy of those, which David said, I think
David sent them to you.
emailed them to me already, so, Mike, if I send it to you, can you make sure Mr.
I think Laura's question is, how can the public get access?
Well, no, he
Access.
wants to see the Quakertown
Well, I know,
suggestions.
we all do.
And then the articles, the committee meetings will be open to the public.
Yeah.
So you'll see everything they're saying.
And then at the meeting, anything that's
We're,
discussed.
we're not discussing anything private, everything will be discussed at the meetings.
But you've received the Quakertown suggestions and you've read them? I haven't received them yet. We're gonna get them. Some of us have.
Yes, you did. I sent them to you last week.
Cracks at it, because to be honest,
Some of the members
the
of
documents,
JOC
the documents owned by the sending districts.
are aware of those suggestions.
The suggestions were
They-
done at,
they is available to the public.
the suggestions were done by a committee in Quakertown that had 2 public meetings. They were held on Zoom. They didn't have any public comment or anything, so they didn't have any input from the public, but they were publicly held meetings. I don't believe Quakertown posted them. Dave, you have your computer out. I'm sure you're
Looking.
feverishly looking now. Is there a way we can post them?
I think if it comes out with the agenda.
I was gonna say, you
committee
can post
meeting,
it with the agenda.
Yeah, we'll post it.
Make sure
How about
there's
this? We'll-
Everybody's input.
Well, so far there is no input other than we need to look at these. Other than Quakertown, even that is not official yet because it hasn't been
Right.
thought out.
I-
to the
I'm-
committee.
Not arguing that point, but
So my.
Yeah, we haven't had any
It's not been
discussions
voted
on,
Quakertown either.
Oh, it hasn't?
I'm sorry, David. what was
That
that?
way, it was the committee,
No.
there was a committee that worked on it and put it together. There's Quakertown itself has not voted on this.
no,
Well, then-
Quakertown board never voted on this.
Correct.
Well, then, just procedurally, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Who's the Quakertown rep on the
Glenn-
articles committee?
Chris.
Glenn.
On
The Quakertown rep on our
Chris.
articles committee or
Yeah.
on Quakertown's?
No, on.
Okay, yes,
JOC's
that would be
articles.
me.
Okay.
Yes.
So are you bringing it as a recommendation? You know what I mean? Like, if it hasn't been approved by the Quakertown board, why is it being considered by the JOC's
So,
subcommittee? I mean, it can, and I'm not being, you can bring it.
We were
It
just
doesn't matter,
doing it
David.
because,
the JOC doesn't own the document. The sending districts own the document because it's an agreement between the sending districts. Correct? Is that right? That's correct, right?
That's not, my issue is not that.
I understand that. But the document that gets approved, that we're gonna approve,
Yeah,
has to go back to the sending district.
yes,
And they all have to approve it.
Correct.
Oh,
yeah.
So that, it was, the document of suggestions that our committee came up with was a subset of our board with items that we identified that we needed to be resolved.
So
So we can submit whatever we want.
I guess I'm asking,
We don't own the document, the sending districts.
Well, my suggestion is.
There's a point of order
With Chris as
Kind of,
the-
we don't understand that.
with Chris as the representative from Quakertown on the articles committee, let him present that information to the committee at the meeting? No?
And that's fine, I do whatever you want. I'm gonna lobby my board, if we don't get this approved. And I'll do this publicly. That we're gonna have trouble with the budget process because there's budget. Items in there that I want before we get the next budget done.
We'll have that, certainly have that discussion.
So that. Do whatever, every way you want, we'll make sure that we expedite the process on our side. But we're not gonna run this clock out much longer, because I did that document, I don't know how long ago.
So this is the way I, as Quakertown's representative on this board. We had a public meeting here where we took input on areas to identify, to address. I said at that meeting, I will bring Quakertown's suggestions into that discussion as well. So, and that's what we'll do at our next public meeting. So we haven't really discussed outside of the Quakertown committee that was totally separate from this. Our committee has not discussed changes yet, just identified areas that we want to look at for changes. So at our next meeting, we're going to start to discuss what we want, what these changes want to look like, and that's when we'll bring that Quakertown letter in. I don't know how, other than putting it on the, posting it along with the agenda of that meeting before it comes, before we have that meeting. I don't know how else to share that document from Quakertown. But again, as Mr. Khan said, and Mr. O'Donnell said, this wasn't a document that the Quakertown board approved as fully. You know, this was just something that came up with the committee and the committee put out there. So
It addressed Quakertown's concerns.
it addressed 3 members of Quakertown's board's concerns.
So it's much more than 3.
Well-
I can assure you that.
But the board didn't vote.
I can
Let's
assure
not
you
argue about that.
I know.
it's more than
Let's,
simple majority. Just take.
Good.
okay.
So, yeah, we'll try to post that on the agenda before the meeting. It will be discussed in the meeting along with the changes that came from the last meeting.
But it seems to me, from listening to you, that members of the JOC were on that committee.
No, just Chuck. Oh, no, Chuck wasn't on that committee, were you? The Articles Committee in Quakertown?
I made inputs to it, but yeah, I was, everybody was there. We had meetings, we had.
There was 2 meetings and there was no public comment. I couldn't make comments. I couldn't type them.
Quakertown's doing.
Can we move forward?
Yeah, I'm just trying to answer Bob's questions. I don't know, but yeah, it's okay. Maybe Chuck was, nobody else in here was on that committee.
But we will be looking at those and they will be made available when we put the agenda together prior to the September, is it fifth or sixth? September 5th meeting? Oh, I have it right here.
Along with any other suggestions we get.
Oh, yeah, no, we can get more suggestions
yeah.
at the meeting or
Oh,
prior
definitely.
to.
You'll have input. I mean, if you have input to the articles, the public will definitely be able to make that input as well.
Someone asked me to forward them to Mr. Linden. Is that still the case, or he has to wait until
That's
September?
not my call.
This document, you just email it to them. His email address.
It was posted on a Quaker, I mean, we spoke about it at a Quakertown meeting, so
Everybody
it's
was-
not a private it's a public document, so.
Everybody was.
You can send it.
Yeah, it's up there.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay. Okay, are we good?
Mr. Linden, we will get the document to you, hopefully in a timely manner, to answer your question.
Mike,
Okay,
would
put
you
that
mind?
In the minutes. In a timely manner. Promise.
Okay. Any other comments? Yes, sir.
All right, so, being a safety officer in SRO, I work very closely with Bedford Police Department, and the one officer that, Mr. Poole and I work closely with all
No, wait,
year.
before you go on, are you speaking as a resident?
No, I'm speaking as the safety officer from the school.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know. But we dealt with Officer Zuko, James Zuko, very much. Officer Zuko is here all the time and helping us out. So I just want to read a letter that I sent to Chief Beelan on Officer Zuko's behalf. And what I said is, I would like to let you know about the phenomenal job that Officer James Zuko did this past school year at Upper Martin County Technical School. Officer Zuko was a very welcome presence at the school throughout the year. His professionalism was unmatched. He was always available for any time that we needed him and helped out with many issues that we had. He never once complained. He was well liked by our students and would even take the time to speak to them and sometimes educate them. His presence at the school is partially responsible for the decline in our Act 26 or state reports violations. We are proud to have such an officer working with us and for us. We consider Officer Zuko part of the UPCTS family and look forward to working with him again in the coming school year. This is a testament, not just to Officer Zuko, but to all the officers in Featherston Township, because when he wasn't available, the other officers were. And Mrs. Pakula and I could not have done our jobs as well as we did without their assistance, because they helped us a lot. And they never complain. They're always here when we need them, and they do a great job. So I just wanted to get that in the record.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate
Done.
it.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Coach, as you saw me earlier. So one of the cosmetology teachers. I just want to give some accolades. This year, I think has run fairly smoothly. We've had a few glitches here and there. I'm kind of speaking on behalf as a teacher, but also as the association vice president. We've gone to administration about different things and we've been able to work things out. This administration has been willing to have an open door policy with us. We can go in and we can talk to them and we can be quite candid sometimes. And I know, I'm so shy. But I just want to give accolades to our administrative team here because, you know, what it was a couple of years ago was not very amicable, and now it is very amicable, and we seem to be able to do a lot of problem solving. We're looking at bringing like some learning communities back that we used to have, which we're very excited about, and we have such a new staff that they need some of these learning communities for training for them. So I just want to let everybody know that I think our administration is doing really good. So our climate is really, our cultural climate has really improved, and I can only see it strengthening it and going forward. I also want to give accolades to Mrs. Cram. We all know this woman works her fingers to the bone. I never realized how many hours this woman lives in this building until I'm teaching night school. And I'm teaching my makeup and we're in, so I'm facing the parking lot, looking out the window at my students and I can see Mrs. Cram's car. There are nights that she's here about 8, 9 o'clock at night. I yelled at her the other day. I'm like, I left at 9 o'clock and your office light was still on and your car was still here. Did you go home? You know, like I know her car wasn't here in the morning when I came in, but I just want to give accolades to Mrs. Cram. She has been more than helpful with human resources, different things, like, you know, and just, I just want to give accolades to you, Mrs. Cram, and thank you for everything that you do for all of us, like our students, the staff, and I thank you because you go above and beyond, and you don't get paid for every hour that you get put in. So I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
I'll follow up with that, Mrs. Cram, comment. I called here the other day, or I called her cell phone to leave a message the other day at 8:19 p.m. I just looked. She was still here at 8:19 p.m. I was just gonna leave her a message to check something the next day. She was still here, so. You don't have to do that.
I've got one
please.
better than you.
Oh, you called her at 10 and she was still here?
No, she called me from her vacation.
Oh, boy.
Stop that phone game.
And
Thank you.
And she emailed too. There's no getting past Tracy.
Nope.
Good job. We really do appreciate our administrative staff. I love working with Mike. He's great. And Steve, and whenever he calls me, he says, I'm here with Steve. Can I put you on speaker? And great people to work with. I really appreciate all of them. And I'd also like to say a special thank you to Brad Palmer. Is it Brad Palmer for coming out tonight in Angelo's place as superintendent of record. And thank you for that. And also thank you to Dr. Friedman, because he's going to be stepping up and being our superintendent of record. And we're really looking forward to having you on board. And do you have any words of wisdom that you'd like to share?
Words of wisdom, 9:20.
It's not my fault.
It could just be motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Second.
No, I am very excited to get started. I've built up a great relationship with Dr. Herrera over my past year, starting in Quakertown. I can't believe I'm coming up on a year at Quakertown already. So, I think we'll continue to do great things here. I'm looking to really be hands-on, and I think it will help me, both personally and professionally, to appreciate the tech school even more than I already do. So, thank you.
And I really appreciated you coming out for the articles meeting. I mean, that was definitely a beyond. Thank you. Okay, announcements. Our next regular JOC board meeting is scheduled for August 15th. We have July off, yay, at 7 p.m. in the JOC boardroom number 205 for JOC members, Upper Bucks County Tech School Administration and public attendance, or via live YouTube. And the second one is the Articles of Agreement Committee will meet on September 5th, 2024 at 5 p.m. in the JOC boardroom, number 205, for the JOC members, Upper Bucks County Tech School Administration and public attendance. And the next Facilities and Finance Subcommittee meetings are scheduled for September 5th at 2024 at 6 p.m. in the boardroom, number 205, for JOC members, administration and public attendance. So hope to see you all there, and I think we'll just jump past the joint operating committee concerns because we have an exec session. Is that okay, or does anybody have anything that they'd like to express before we move over to the conference room? All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
To adjourn.
Got that.